Squat. Rack.
It's a great looking opening attempt from Keeley, 78 kilos. And the referees agree it's 3 white lights. Next lifter will be Nara Val Herman, scoring 80 kilos for her opening attempt. We have 2 lifters in this session hailing from Nauru. Nara is the first of them. Nara is 14 years of age, and she'll be later going for the Oceania Squat Sub-Junior record, which stands at 98. Her first attempt will be 80 kilos, conservative first attempt. We're just loading that bar up to 80 kilograms, 176 pounds.
We good? All right, boys. Is that Keeley? No, it's next lifter. Bar's loaded.
And bar is loaded for Nara Val Herman, 80 kilos. Give her a round of applause as she comes out here. She hails from Nauru.
I just can't see Robert's arm, so if you want to, you're in the live stream, just jump over there. Yep. Squat. Rack.
Very nice opening attempt by Nara Van Herman. 3 white lights, says the referees. Good lift on the board. Next lifter, Taylor Jane Sissons. Also in the 58 kilo category, opening up proceedings with a 90 kilogram squat.
Jay.
All right, a big welcome to all of our Brisbane Show attendees. You're watching the Brisbane Open here at the Fitness Show.
How are we, boys? Good.
This is our first session. We're
Bar's
3
loaded.
lifts into this session. Bar is currently loaded for Taylor Jane Sissons. Opening squat of 90 kilograms. Taylor will be followed by my girl Hamish, Anthony, and Katie.
Squat. Rack.
Opener looks good. Referees agree. It's 2 white lights. We have a red light from the side referee on the right for failing to stand upright at the start or end of the squat.
Yeah.
3 referees, majority rules. So we have 2 white lights, which means it's a good lift, and that lift counts towards the lifter's total, towards their scoring. We're now loading the bar to 100 kilos. This is for my girl Jeremiah. She's
Little
our
red.
second
Yep.
international lifter for this session.
Center that bar, Benny.
Also hailing from Nauru,
Just hold it.
like her countrywoman.
Dev, can I just get you? I can't see Robert's arm. I can't see his arm.
Bar is loaded now for my girl Jeremiah. 100 kilograms on the bar. Now our 2 Nauruan lifters, my girl and Nara, are both 14 years old. So this young lady here is 14 years of age, squatting 100 kilos on her opening attempt. Give her a round of applause. Make her feel welcome here.
Place bar, please. Place the bar.
Okay,
Stand
so
up
Chief
straight.
Referee
You need to
Dave
stand-
Keong
You need to stand up straight. Okay.
instructs the lifter to replace the bar and then tells her that she needs to stand up straight. So in order for the lifter to be able to start the squat, they need to be standing up straight.
You got time. Stand up. Squat. Rack.
Little bit shaky. The referees are going to say that it is a good lift and it's 3 white lights. Very nerve-wracking when you're 14 years of age, squatting 100 kilos in front of our packed crowd here at the fitness show. So you notice that Dave Keong, our chief referee, told the young lady to replace the bar because she wasn't standing up straight.
Big side.
Gives her a chance to explain what the technicality is and for her to correct it. The clock continues to run. You're going to see there's a clock to the left of the stage that indicates how much time the lifter has to make the lift. So the clock continues to run during that time, and they've got to make the lift in that time.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Hamish McLean. This is 105 kilos. This is Hamish's first competition, 17 years of age. He's competing in the 69 kilo category. Bar's loaded, bar's loaded. Oh, yes.
Squat. Rack. You didn't touch it.
Somewhat challenging of an opening attempt. And unfortunately, that's a no lift from our side referees, both Jason and Robert.
On depth. You got him on depth.
And that's for downward movement. So in order for a lift to be counted towards your score in powerlifting, the bar needs to come up in one smooth action. There should be no downward movement on the way through. So if you remember Hamish's attempt on the way up, he kind of stopped, fell down, and then came back up again. That constitutes a no lift. So that score won't add to his total. For now, bar is loaded for Anthony. Training partner to Hamish. This is 110 kilo opening squat for Anthony.
Just take your loops off your wrist straps. Place the bar. Place the bar.
Okay,
Straight,
so similar issue as
out.
the previous
You have to
lifter.
knock your knees and stand up straighter, okay? So you've still got
And you can
time,
hear
so
Dave
you've got
Keong
10
explaining.
seconds.
The lifter needs to stand straight with her knees locked.
Quick, mate.
Let's go, mate.
Quick.
Stand straight, lock your knees, lock your knees.
Start. Rack.
And he squeezes in with not much time left on that clock. He had 1 second on the clock, and he gets the 3 white lights. Nerve-wracking opening attempt. So, a perfect example of how the clock can play a pivotal role in a lifter's attempt. You have 1 minute to make your attempt. You have 1 minute for the referee to give you the squat signal. And the lifter made it just in time. For now, bar is loaded. The same weight, 110 kilos for Katie Springer. Bar loaded. Katie in her 4th competition here today. From Tweed Heads, coached by Cal Rouston. 10 kilos below her personal best. This is 110 kilos on the opening attempt for Katie Springer.
Squat. Rack.
Very smooth opening attempt. You can see the experience behind Katie. Really taking that first attempt very smoothly. 1 red light just for depth.
Depth.
Very close. So you can see the difference in that attempt by Katie. A bit more of a seasoned veteran. At the start of the lift, standing very tall, knees straight, upright. Ready to receive the squat signal immediately. Right, last lifter of this first round of squats is Caitlin Barraclough. Barraclough. Can I get a correction? Caitlin's opening attempt is 125 kilos. This is a big opening squat. Bar is loaded for her. Little bit of confusion in the dugout for Caitlin. An apparel technicality. So again, look past side referee Jason Orden's head here. She's got 40 seconds, just under 40 seconds to get out there and get her squat attempt on. That's been fixed up. Give her a round of applause. She's got to get this squat done pretty quickly. Still enough time, more than enough time to get her set up correct.
Plenty of time.
But the time stress does play a factor.
Squat. Rack.
A very careful opener. The referees say 2 white lights, good lift. Side referee Robert Wilkes calling for depth. Knees locked a little bit, a couple of small things, but a good lift. It's on the board. All right, that concludes the first round of attempts. We're going to loop back around and get to our second round. So the same 10 lifters are going to come out again in roughly the same order, and they're going to attempt their second weight. Each lifter gets 3 attempts in the squat discipline for today's session. Each attempt is progressively heavier than the one before it. They get to choose the weights that they want to take on. They can't choose a weight that's lighter than the weight they've previously attempted. So lifters often choose conservative weights and try to move up from there. First lift will be Keely Renke.
This way. Yeah, that's it.
Keely Renke will be doing our
Thanks, Jack.
first squat of the second round.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Keely. This is Keely's second powerlifting competition. She's only 15 years of age. Successful with her first squat. At 78 kilograms, is now 86. So an 8 kilo increase from her first attempt squat.
Squat. Rack.
A little slower, but held her shape really well. And I think the referees are going to reward her with 3 white lights. So achieved everything required and is rewarded with a good lift. That 86 kilo squat now adds to her total. Next lifter, Nara Val Herman. Now, if you remember from the previous round, we have 2 lifters hailing from Nauru. And Nara is one of our lifters hailing from Nauru. She is only 14 years old.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Nara. Competing internationally as a 14-year-old. This is a 90 kilo second attempt squat. The Oceania sub-junior record stands at 97 kilos and she'll be looking to take that on the next attempt if she's successful with this.
Squat. Take the bar.
Unfortunately, just a little bit too heavy. Gets stuck in the middle there. Clearly frustrated with that attempt, but give her a round of applause. She's going to come out here and have another go. 14-year-old Nara Val Herman. Our next lifter, same weight on the bar. This is 90 kilos for Taylor Jane Sissons. Now, as I said to you earlier, in subsequent rounds of lifting, we cannot choose weights that are lighter than the previous round. Taylor was unsuccessful with 90 kilos in the first round. And she has no choice but to take the same weight or heavier in the next round. So she's chosen to take the same weight. Bar is loaded for Taylor. She missed this on the opening round, so give her a round of applause. She needs your support to make sure that she execute this lift correctly and has this lift added to her score, added to her total.
Squat. Rack.
That is a much nicer attempt compared to her first attempt, and she's rewarded. 2 white lights, good lift.
Yep.
So again, we've got 2 lights up here on the screen, or to the left over here, and our lights determine whether or not the lift is added to the score, to the total. And 3 referees choose whether or not they believe the lift was a legal attempt, legal lift, and majority rules. So 2 white lights on that one means a good lift. Bar is now loaded for Hamish McLean. So Hamish, another lifter, just like Taylor in the previous round, who struggled on his opening attempt and unfortunately was awarded a no lift. So now we've got 105. Give him a round of applause. He needs this lift.
Stand up. Squat. Rack.
That is a much nicer looking attempt than the previous round. And it's a 3 white light, so it's a good lift. So he too is on the scoreboard with 105 kilos. Next lift is my girl, followed by Anthony, Katie, Caitlin. So 4 lifts left in this round.
Rack light.
110 kilos first.
I'll just look up here. You can see it.
Bar is loaded.
Yeah. Bar's
110 kilos for my girl Jeremiah. Like Nara, comes from Nauru. 10 kilo increase from the opening round. So ladies and gents, you're here at the Brisbane Open. Watching the Brisbane Open at the Brisbane Fitness Show. Our 3-lift powerlifting competition on today as hosted by Powerlifting Australia. Right now, it's my girl, Jeremiah, 110 kilos.
Squat. Place above.
Now, she stands up with the weight, but I think that's going to be a no lift. She unfortunately didn't wait for Chief Referee Dave Keong's signal. So the lifter has to stand straight and wait for a signal from our Chief Referee before they commence the lift. This is to make sure that the lifter is starting from a fair position, that every lifter starts from the same position. And that position is knees locked and hips are extended. And if you fail to obey the signals from the referees, you'll be given a no lift. So unfortunately for our young my girl, that is a no lift for her. Very common error, especially when you're new and when you're young.
Bar's
it's
loaded.
very stressful to be up here. For now, bar is loaded. Anthony Frelingos, 115 kgs. This is 5 kilos up from his previous attempt. Now, if you remember in the last round, Anthony got the squat signal with 1 second on the clock. Managed to come back and get his lift anyway. We're now going up 5 kilos. This is 115.
Squat. Rack.
Much, much better attempt. He's got a smile on his face. That's 3 white lights. Good lifting for Anthony. Now we're going to load the bar for Katie Springer. That's 118 kilos. Katie executed her opening squat very well at 110. She's gone up 8 kilos. This is 118.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is now loaded for Katie. 118 kilos on the bar. Successful with her opening attempt. She hails from Tweed Heads, coached by Cal Ralston. This is her fourth powerlifting competition, so getting some experience in.
Bar is loaded.
Bar's loaded, guys. Yes?
Yeah. Squat. Rack.
Excellent demonstration of squatting there by Katie. And the referees agree, 2 white lights, good lift. So a really great example of a lifter there who stands tall and straight, waits for the referee's signal before she commences the squat. That is really good lifting, very experienced lifting. Our next lifter is Caitlin. This is 130 kilos. Caitlin was successful with the opening attempt at 125, although it was a little bit slow for an opener. So we've gone up 5 kilos, a pretty reasonable increase in weight now.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded, 130 kilos for Caitlin.
Squat. Rack.
Very strong second attempt. I like that one. And it's 2 white lights. Good lift. So a couple of lifters here scoring 2 white lights. Still good lifts when that happens.
Yeah. Bit short on depth for Jade.
Just a little short on depth on one side. But good lift nonetheless for Caitlin. Okay, not a bad session of lifting so far. A couple of reds.
A little yellow,
but that's to be expected. We're now loading the bar for Keely
White
Renke.
and little red or yellow, is it? Little yellow. Little yellow.
This is 88 kilos
Yellow.
for Keely.
Little yellow.
Now,
not little
Keely
red.
so far has gone 2 out of 2 in the squat. Successful with 76, successful with 78, sorry, successful with 86, and now we have 88 kilos on the bar.
I can check it.
Only Keely's second comp. She's only 15 years of age, although she's under some great tutelage of the older sister Tara Renke.
Center her up, Benny. Just a little bit that way. Not much. Yep, that's it.
So she's got the right pedigree, that's for sure. Bar loaded for Keely Renke. 88 kilo third attempt. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes out here for a third. This will be the heaviest squat that she attempts for the day. She's not going any heavier than this, so come on, give her your support.
Squat.
Come on, Keel.
Rack.
Really good grind there. And I think the referees are going to say that it is a good lift. 2 white lights.
Build on depth.
All right, really slow down in the middle there, but she fought it through. And she finishes the squat section of today 3 out of 3 on 88 kilograms. And a nice little 3 kilo personal best for her there. Right, Nara Val Herman of Nauru missed the second attempt squat at 90 kilos. Got stuck in the middle of the lift.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is now loaded. The middle of the lift and the squat is the classic sticking point.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. Now let me remind you folks that this young lady here is 14 years of age. Give her a round of applause for her third attempt squat. Come on.
Squat. Take the bar.
And unfortunately, that's a no lift once again. Give her a round of applause as she comes off. She's clearly disappointed in herself. But a very big future starting at such a young age in the sport of powerlifting. Okay, we move on to Taylor Jane Scissor. Now, if you remember Taylor, she missed her opening squat at 90. Back against the wall, came back and nailed it on the second attempt. And now she's going up 15 kilograms on the squat.
Yeah,
this is 105 kilos for her. She's been powerlifting for less than 12 months, previously a gymnast.
Bar's
This is a
loaded.
5 kilogram personal best for her. Bar
Bar's
bar loaded. For Taylor Jane Sisson. To give her a round of applause. 5 kilo personal best attempt. And a 15 kilo increase on the last attempt. Following Taylor, we're going to have Hamish, Anthony, and my girl.
Squat. Take the bar. Place.
And unfortunately, slow down in the middle, tipped her forward, and it's a no lift. So she finishes the day on the 1 out of 3. That's 90 kilos on the squat. Okay, we're moving on now to Hamish McLean. Hamish's third attempt will be 110. He missed the opener at 105, got it on the second, and he's gone up 5 kilos.
We're good.
This is Hamish's first contest, bar loaded. We've got a few sub-juniors or youth, sorry.
He's pretty tall. He's pretty tall.
Apologise, a few youth lifters in Keely, who's 15, Nara and my girl, who are 14. And here Hamish, 17-year-old Hamish, taking 110 kilos on his third attempt.
Squat. Rack.
Really good third attempt there. And 3 white lights. I'm very impressed with Hamish's lifting. His opening squat was a little bit tough and it pushed him forward, but unlike the first attempt, the last 2 have been really good. Managed to hold his shape. Much better bar path as well. We now go to his training partner, Anthony Frelingos. This is 120 kilos. So Anthony's had a pretty good day so far. 2 out of 2 after a shaky opener.
That's all right, Benny.
And he's now looking to capitalize. Bar is loaded for Anthony Frelingos. 120 kilos in the third attempt. Anthony will be followed by my girl, Katie and Caitlin.
Squat. Rack.
He's happy with that, it looks like. And so he should be. It's 3 white lights. It's a good lift. Few kilos left on the platform, I think. That was very good. All right, next lifter, my girl Jeremiah, 120 kilos. So in the second round, she missed her second attempt squat for beating the signals from the chief referee. The weight wasn't a problem, but she failed to obey the signals from our referee.
Yep, that'll do.
She's chosen to go up 10 kilos, bar loaded, bar loaded. She's chosen to go up 10 kilos. This is 120 kilos. So if she gets this lift, she adds 20 kilos to her total. So a very important lift for her. Also from Nauru and only 14 years of age. Give her a round of applause. Come on. 120 kilos, 14 years of age. She's got the strength, just needs to wait for the referee's signals.
Stand up straight. Stand up. Yep. Squat. Take the bar.
And unfortunately, that's going to be a no lift. Got stuck in the middle there. Both her and Nara are very explosive type of lifters, but have a classic sticking point to the middle of the squat. So very common to see that in the squat movement where the lifter gets stuck halfway through. Okay, 2 lifters left to round out this morning's session. This morning's group of squatters. Both 64 kilogram lifters, Katie Springer and Caitlin Barraclough, or Barraclough.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is now loaded. This is 123 kilos, 5 kilos up. Bar's loaded, bar's loaded. Katie has been an excellent stalwart of powerlifting, or a great demonstration of powerlifting, I should say, with her first 2 squats being really well executed attempts. And now a 5 kilos increase from her previous attempt. This is 123 kilo.
Squat.
Very good fight.
Back.
And 3 white lights. That's good lifting. A very good job to Katie. 123 kilos was successful. And a nice 3 kilogram personal best for her. Oh, sorry. Yes, that's right. Alrighty, our last lifter of Group B. This is Caitlin, 134 kilos, 4 kilos up from her previous attempt. So this Group B features 58 kilo women, 64 kilo women, 69 kilo women. Oh, no, okay.
Bar's loaded.
And the bar is loaded. This is 134. 134 for Caitlin. Caitlin will be followed by what looks like Tonya, Joaquin, Hani, and Jess in Group A. So boys and girls, make yourselves ready. This is 134 kilos for Caitlin.
Squat.
Come on, come on.
Take the bar. Good work, boys.
Very good fight there, but a little bit too heavy today. She walks away with 130 kilos on the squat. And a reasonable good day's lifting. All right, 115 we need now. That's a red and a blue, boys. 115, this is for
Red, blue.
Tonya Path Evra. Now our Group A lifters include our 72 kilo women, 69 kilo men, 100 kilo women, 77 kilo men, and a 94 kilo male also. So a bit of a mix of classes here. Bar is now loaded, bar is now loaded. You're watching the Brisbane Open here at the Brisbane Fitness Show. 3-lift powerlifting event consisting of the squat, bench press, deadlift. You're watching the squat discipline. We have 2 groups of squatters. This is our Group A, so our second group of squatters.
Squat. Rack.
And a very clean opening attempt. Referees are going to deem that a good lift. 2 white lights. 1 red from the far right for depth, although it was very close, says Mr. Robert Wilkes. Joaquin, 120 kilos. First attempt in his first competition in the 69 kilo class.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded now. And this will be followed by Hani, Jess, Tucker, and Laurie.
Squat. Rack.
And a very nice opening attempt.
See this? Too high.
3 white lights,
Okay,
good
it's gotta
lifting.
be
Next
down
up, we
around here. It's
have
gotta be just off the bottom of there.
Hani, Cauchi.
Okay.
This is a 135 kilo opening attempt. Hani actually scored herself a bronze medal at the Australian Championships 2018. She's coming out here at the Brisbane Open with 135 kilos in the opening attempt. She's competing in the 100 kilo class. So we have 8 weight class categories in the women's and 8 weight class categories in the men's. Hani's lifting in the 100 kilo category. So she weighed in just under 100. Bar is loaded now for Hani. 135 kilo opening attempt. Trains out of Iron Underground, our major sponsor for this afternoon's event, or today's event, sorry. This morning's event, really. Hani will be followed by Jess, Tucker, Laurie, and Bo. So 8 lifters in this group.
Squat. Rack.
A little heavy for an opening attempt, but she gets the 2 white lights, so it's a good lift. Okay, it looked like she drifted back onto her heels as she hit the hole there, but she managed to come out of that on the better side of it with 2 white lights.
Can't see.
Okay, same weight on the bar. We're going to go to Jess McManus. Only difference is
Yeah, I
she's
can't see it,
2 weight
but
classes down. She's in the 72 kilo category. Jess with 135. Chief referee and side referees collaborating and discussing that attempt.
Boys. Yep. Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Jess. This is 135 kilos, so about 10 kilos less than her best squat. Jess to be followed by Tucker and Laurie.
Squat.
That's a tidy looking opening attempt. And unfortunately, that's going to be a no lift. And I did see that just on depth, a little bit high on both sides. So both side referee Jason Warden and side referee Robert Wilbs deeming that a no lift. So you'll notice we've got the 3 referees here, and that's their job to adjudicate the lifting and ensure each lift is refereed and to the standard that we require. So Jess is going to be awarded a no lift on that attempt.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. Now for Taka Miyamoto, this is his first contest, 160 kilo opening attempt. He's in the 77 kilo category. I can see Taka is going to be opening his bench press with 135 kilos. So very big bench press to come. But for now, this is 160 kgs on the squat. Followed by Laurie, Bo, and Joel.
Squat.
A very upright style squat.
Rack.
And he powers through that one very nicely. That's a very nice looking squat. Absolutely no doubt about that one. 3 white lights. Our next lifter will be Laurie Abbott in the 94 kilo class. Ladies and gents, you are watching the Brisbane Open here at the Brisbane Fitness Show, hosted by Powerlifting Australia.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded now with 175 kilos for Laurie Abbott. Okay, we're just waiting for Laurie to come out here. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gents. Just been informed that this is an Australian record attempt in the Masters category for Laurie. So give him a round of applause. He's opening with a squat record attempt. Come on.
Stand up. Squat. Rack.
That's a good looking lift. Coach is clapping. We're waiting on the side of the referee. There it is. 2 white lights. Good lift. So Laurie's competing in the 55 to 59 age category. And that is an Australian record on the opening attempt. There'll be more to come for sure. For now, Bo Rutherford's 180 kilograms. He's being loaded to the bar. This is Bo's second contest. His first one being only 8 weeks ago. Very enthusiastic, keen lifter.
Just center it up, Ben.
Out of Iron Underground. We're going to center the bar.
Back
And
out.
bar is being centered. And now it's loaded for
Thank
Bo
you.
Rutherford, 180 kilos on the opening attempt. Bo will be followed by Joe Wheeland before round 2 starts with Tonya, Joaquin, and Hani. Dressed in the limited edition SPD apparel. City Strength, one of our major sponsors of this event.
Squat. Rack.
And it's a very nice squat. 3 white lights. 180 kilos is a squat that Bo finished on 8 weeks ago, his first contest. So he's made some improvements, undoubtedly. For now, Joel Whelan, 185 kilos. This is the last lifter of this round of squatting. This is the first round. And this is Joel's first squat. Following this, we're going to have Tonya's second squat, Joaquin's second squat, and Hani's second squat. We've got 1 rack in. Is it 1 in or both in? Both are in.
One or two.
So you notice, no, it's both. It's both.
Both. Yep.
So, ladies and gents, you notice the racks
That way, Benny. Just twist
are
it that way.
adjustable, and they can be adjusted so that the racks point inwards.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. Might look a little funny, but the rack is extremely stable and secure, and this gives the lifters more options about where they want to put their hands. Sometimes when the racks are in their regular state, the racks are in the way of where they want to put their hands, but it also means that there's more clearance between the plates and the racks, and a lifter is less likely to clip the racks when they walk out, making the walkout more stable. So see Joel grabs on the inside of those racks, but it means there's more space on the outside of the racks for him to walk out smoothly.
Squat. Rack.
Very powerful looking squat. And I don't see anything wrong with that, neither do the referees. It's 3 white lights. Okay, back to the top. We're into the second round now. This is Tonya Path Evra. Path, successful with 115. She's now going to 123 kilos. So, ladies and gents, we've got 2 groups of lifters, 2 groups of about 9 lifters. The first group of 9 have gotten through all their squats. We're now into the second group of 9. And these guys are going to loop back past each other. 3 rounds of squats, trying to add to their total. The first lifter in this second round of squats is Tonya Path Evra. She was successful with 115,
Up,
and she's
Jack.
gone up 8 kilos.
Push it up hard. Yep. There you go. The other way. There you go. Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded
Going
for
right, Jack.
Tonya.
Hey.
This will be a 3 kilogram
Setting it
personal
up.
best. So 3 kilos above her best. This is only her second contest. She'll be followed by Joaquin, Hani, and Jess.
Squat. Rack.
That was a very good squat. Better than the opener, dare I say. That's 3 white lights. For a moment there, it looked like she was going to cut the depth on the squat, but then she sunk that extra inch, and I think it was the right thing to do because she comes out with 3 white lights. Okay, a 10 kilo increase for Joaquin. He was successful with his opening attempt of 120 kilos, and he's gone up to 130 kilos. Pretty reasonable increase in weight at these loads, 10 kilos.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Joaquin. This is 130 kgs. He's lifting in the 69 kilo category, although he only came in at 63.8 kilos. One of 3 lifters in this weight class.
Squat. Back.
And that's a good lift. 3 white lights. Okay, next lifter will be Hani Cauchi. Hani Cauchi with 140 kilos. Had a rough start on an opening attempt. Was a little bit harder than you'd like to see for a first round. At 135. Has gone up a fairly conservative 5 kilos.
Yep. That's all right. Bars loaded.
Bars loaded, says Chief Referee Dave Keong. Give a round of applause as she comes out here. She's a Brisbane local, trains out of Iron Underground.
Squat. Rack.
Okay, not too bad of a second attempt, and even better than the first. 3 white lights. Cheer squad goes wild. We're now going to load the bar for Jess McManus, 145 kilos. Now, Jess was unsuccessful on her first attempt. In the sport of powerlifting, you cannot choose weights that are lighter than the attempts you've previously made. After failing 135 kilos, she's actually chosen to go up 10 kilos.
Right, that's right.
Bold attempt, dare I say. But she needs this lift to stay in the competition
Bar's
to actually register a total. So let's give a round of applause. Bar is now loaded for Jess McManus. This is an equal personal best, 145 kilos.
Squat.
That was definitely deeper than the opening attempt. The referees are going to give her 3 white lights. That's a good lift. Equal personal best, and she's in the competition. A lot was riding on that one lift, but back against the wall, she managed to pull it off and score herself a 145 kilo squat in the 72 kilo class. Okay, we got 4 lifters left in this round. All of our gentlemen. First up is Taka Miyamoto.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Taka in the 77 kilo class. Squatting nearly 100 kilos above his body weight. This is 170 kilos. 10 kilos up from his opening attempt. Taka will be followed by the Australian record-breaking Laurie Abbott, Bo Rutherford, and Joel Wheeland. A very upright style squatter. You're going to notice from Taka.
Squat.
Keeps his chest very high, sits straight down, and a very good looking squat there. Great squat, 3 white lights. This is Taka's first competition, so looks like he's erring on the side of conservative, something that most powerlifting coaches would recommend for a first contest. And he's doing it really well. Okay, for now, if you remember, ladies and gents, about 10 minutes ago, Laurie Abbott broke the Australian Masters record in the squat. In the 55 to 59 age category, squatted 175. We're now loading the bar to 185, which is more than 175. So this is 10 kilos above the record, which he set 10 minutes ago.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. Let's give him a round of applause if you want to see an Australian record from Laurie Abbott. Over 400 pounds, 185 kilos. Let's go, Laurie. What a beautiful contrast this is in lifters. From 55-year-old Laurie to 14-year-old Nara in the previous group.
Squat.
No, that is a lovely grind of a lift. And he gets 2 white lights. New Australian record for Mr. Laurie Abbott. Very good lifting. The bar now goes to 190 kilos. This is for Beau Rutherford. 10 kilos on his opening attempt.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Beau. So, ladies and gents, you're watching the Brisbane Open here at the Brisbane Fitness Show. 3-lift powerlifting competition consisting of the squat, bench press, deadlift. This contest is sanctioned by the Powerlifting Australia, Australia's premier drug-free powerlifting federation. You're seeing lifters of all age groups, weight classes, backgrounds.
Squat. Rack.
And it's a nice looking lift. 10 kilos up from his previous attempt, proves no problems. 3 white lights for Beau Rutherford. Last lifter of this session, of this round, I should say. Joel Whelan, 200. Now Joel's a very intense lifter, likes to get amped up, likes a bit of energy. Successful his opening attempt at 185. He's going to come out here for 200 kilos.
That's it, Benny.
This will be the last lift of the second round. I know, a little complicated.
Yeah,
200 kilos for Joel Wheeland.
That's it. Spot on. Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Joel Wheeland. 200 kilos, big milestone lift in any lifter's career to hit the 200 kgs. And he's doing it on the second round. So, let's go. Come on, Joel.
Squat. Rack.
Very strong looking attempt. I don't see any problems with that. Just waiting for the referees. Side referees, please. There we go. 3 white lights. Good lift for Joel. Yes, nothing wrong with that indeedy. All right, great round of squatting that was. 10 lifters, I think 2, 4, 6, 8 lifters. No missed lifts. So very good round of squats. In the second round, we now move to the third round of squatting. First off is Tonya Paf Evra. Paf was successful with 123 in the second round. That was a 3 kilo personal best, and she's chosen to go up another 7 kilos. So this will be 10 kilos on her previous best in the same day.
Loaded.
Bars loaded for Paf. Give her a round of applause as she comes out here. Come on, she says, let's go. Third attempt squat, 130 kilos.
Squat. Rack.
That was a very easy attempt. The referee's going to give that 2 white lights. Good lift. I was a little suspicious. It was a little close, but 2 white lights is all you need. The referees are in a much better position to determine whether or not that's a good lift than I am. So she takes a 130 kilo squat, 10 kilos above her personal best. Well done to Paf.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is now loaded for Joaquin Evans. This is another 10 kilo increase from his squats. He went 120 good lift, 130 good lift, and now 140 kilograms. This too is a big milestone. 3 blue plates in a commercial gym, 140 kilos. Following Joaquin, we have Hani, Jess, and Taka.
Squat. Rack.
A very good fight. Slowed down in the sticking point, but powered through for 3 white lights. He's very happy with that. That's 3 out of 3 on the squats. Okay, so both of our lifters so far have managed all their squats. Let's keep that momentum rolling. We've got Hani Kozi, 143 kilos.
Bars loaded.
Bars loaded now for Hani. I was saying Hani, wasn't I? Let's give her a round of applause. Come on. She trains out of Iron Underground, one of our main sponsors of today's powerlifting Brisbane Open. 2018 bronze medalist, actually, in the 100 kilo category at the Australian Championships.
Squat. Rack.
Wow, she has really impressed me today. That was a very good looking lift. 3 white lights. Some very good lifting from her. She finishes the day with 143. So another 3 out of 3 squatter in this morning session for Hani. We now go to Jess McManus. Jess awarded a no lift in the first round of squats. Chose to go up 10 kgs and smoked it.
Rack light 10.
We've now gone up another 5 kilos. This will be for a 5 kilo personal best, 150 kilos.
Bars loaded.
Bar is loaded now for Jess McManus. Let's give Jess some support now. This is the 3rd attempt squat, a 5 kilo personal best. So 5 kilos more than she's ever handled.
Stand up straight. Squat.
Really good fight there by Jess. Even with the stand-up straight signal from Dave Keong, held there a little longer than she would have liked. The suspense kills us, but it's 2 white lights. Good lift. 5 kilo personal best for Jess. Very well done. We now go to 183 kilos. This is for Taka Miyamoto. Taka was successful with 160 kilos, successful with 170 kilos. We're now going to 183.
Little red, little yellow.
So this will be a 3 kilos above the best he's ever squatted. His best squat ever is 180. So he's going for a small little PB. I like to see that. Daring on the 3rd attempt. Powerlifters pushing their limits, trying to improve all the time. So a 3 kilo improvement on his best ever effort in only his first powerlifting contest. This is Taka Miyamoto, 183 kilos, bar loaded. Give him a round of applause as he comes out here. Come on. Let's go, Taka. We've got 2 lifters to follow Taka in Bo Rutherford and Joel Wieland.
Squat. Rack.
And he powers through that. He still had more in the tank, I think. Formal confirmation from the referees, please. 3 white lights. Good lift for Taka. Okay, 2 lifts left in this round of squats. Oh, I'm mistaken. Sorry, 3 rounds. We've got Laurie Abbott, then Bo Rutherford, then Joel Wieland. My mistake. So 3 lifts left. Laurie Abbott, 190 kilos. If you remember, he broke the Australian record with 185. Bar is loaded for Laurie. He broke the Australian record with 185 in the last round, and he's gone up another 5 kilos. Now, his 2nd attempt squat at 185 was pretty tough. So this 190 is going to be a bit of a stretch. But let's give him your support, and let's see if he can add another 5 kilos to his Australian record squat. This is for the Australian record in the 94 kilo weight class, 55 to 59 age division.
Squat. Place the bar.
And he quickly shakes his head and admits that it's a little too heavy today. But he came out and had a go, so let's give him a round of applause. And that's what we want to see. Lifters coming out here, having a crack. Rolling the dice sometimes on these attempts. Alrighty, 2 lifts left. This one is a beauty. Bo Rutherford competed for the first time only 8 weeks ago and squatted 180. Now, less than 2 months later, he's attempting the big 200 kilos.
Green and little red.
In the gym, you'd use a yellow plate, but in the contest, we use a green, black, and a collar. This is a 200 kilo third attempt squat for Bo Rutherford.
Thank you. Center it just that way a
We're
little
going to
bit.
center the bar now. We've got 2 lifts left.
That's it.
Bar is loaded for Bo Rutherford. Third attempt squat here at the Brisbane Open. Come on, Bo, they say. Come on, Bo. I see Joel Whelan pacing angrily in the warm-up room. That's me.
Squat.
And he grinds through. Well, not even much of a grind. More fights through. For 3 white lights, 200 kilos. That is an awesome squat there for Bo. 200 kilos. Huge milestone lift.
Just racks in. It'll be racks in again. Just do the height first, then the racks in.
Okay, folks, we're on to our last squat of this morning's 3-lift powerlifting contest. This will be for Joe Wheeland. 208 kilos on the squat.
Whoa, easy.
Right, last squat of this morning's session, the heaviest squat of this morning's session, 208 kilos by the 77-kilo Joel Wheeland.
Up against the collar.
The heaviest squat you're going to see for this morning's session. We've got some bigger boys taking the platform this afternoon.
That'll do.
But in the 77-kilo class with 208 kilos to the Beatles,
Bar's loaded.
Joel Wheeland, third attempt squat, 208 kilos, bar is loaded. Tell me something you think you'll understand. Very
Squat.
strong, stable walkout. 208 kilos. And it's a little too heavy for Joel. Give him a round of applause as he came out here and had a crack. What would have been a personal best attempt. Okay, 10 minutes on the clock. We're going to take a short break. Ladies and gents, you're at the Brisbane Fitness Show watching the Brisbane Open. This is Powerlifting Australia's 3-lift powerlifting contest, the 3 disciplines being the squat, bench press, and deadlift. So concludes our squat section. In 10 minutes, we'll be back for the bench press. The bench press will commence in 10 minutes. kilo women, 64 kilo women, 72, oh no,
Here I
not
come,
72,
mate.
and 69 kilo men. All right, bar is now loaded. This is 40 kilos for my girl Jeremiah.
I want fries with that.
Now, if you've just joined us, you would have missed in the morning about an hour ago. My girl came out here. She's from Nauru, and she's only 14 years of age. This is a 40 kilogram attempt.
Can't see his arm. I've got to see. Heels down. Replace the bar, please.
Okay, so you'll see on the
Yeah,
clock
heels
she's got
down.
20 seconds left. Now, before the lifter is ready to start the bench press, they've got to achieve a number of criteria. One of those things is being the heels, or the feet must be flat as the shoe will allow, is what the rule book says. She's got 7 seconds to get this lift out and get the lift started. Let's give her an applause. Come on, let's go, my girl.
No good.
Time.
Replace the bar.
Unfortunately, that's going to be a
Time's
no lift as the lifter is timed out. And unfortunately, it's going to be a no lift.
Timed out. Timed out. You can't lift. It's over. The lift. You can't.
Okay, so my girl's a little bit
Minutes out.
confused. It's only her first contest, so she's not really sure. Okay, give her a round of applause. A little bit disappointing. She's obviously a little. This is only her first contest, and she's 14 years of age. So that's going to be a no lift for my girl. So as I was explaining, in order for a lift to get started, the lifter has to be positioned on the bench with a few criteria, one of which is the elbows are straight, head is on the bench, feet have to be flat on the floor, and there has to be contact from the hips onto the bench. Once all of those criteria are met, the two side referees will drop their hands, and the chief referee
Bar's loaded.
will know that they're ready. Bar is loaded now for Nara. And the chief referee will give them the signal to start. Hold on. Rob, we need a decision on the last lift. And Jace, we need a decision on the last lift.
Oh.
So it's a no lift, obviously. Okay, we're going to start again. Bar is now loaded. This is 40 kilos for Nara. Okay, yeah, bar is loaded. Let's go. Okay, give a round of applause. Also from Nauru. Following Nara, we have Keely, Anthony, Hamish, and Katie. All right, for the uninitiated, you're going to witness some of these rules that I mentioned previously being applied. So feet flat, head on the bench, arms are straight.
Start. Press. Rack.
She gets a start call from Dave, press, and rack, and it's going to be a good lift, I think. 3 white lights. Yep, 3 white lights. And that's a good lift. Okay, our next lifter will be Keely Renke. So in the bench press, there are 3 signals that you'll hear from the referee. Those are start, press, and rack. The start call is before the lift is actually able to begin the descent. Once the bar is motionless on the chest, referee will say press. And once the elbows are straightened again, the referee will say rack. And you've got to obey all those signals. Bar loaded now for Keely Renke. This is 46 kilos in the opening attempt. Keely also 15 years of age. For powerlifting, a 3-lift sport comprised of the squat, bench, deadlift. We have lifters as young as 14 and well into their 70s competing today. So a wide variety of lifters, all shapes and sizes. A very inclusive and accessible sport, powerlifting. This is Keely Renke with 46 kilos in the opening round.
Start. Press. Rack.
An easy opening attempt. 3 white lights, good lift. So the bench press that you're watching here is a little bit different to the way you might have performed it yourself in the gym. We have very strict rules, as I've mentioned a couple of times now.
Yellow, little red.
There may be a few times where a lifter will be awarded a no lift, so red lights, and it might seem a little confusing. And as we go through those, I'm going to explain what you're watching as it comes around. For now, we've got Anthony Frelingos, 60 kilos. He'll be followed by Hamish and Katie, all on 60 kilos.
Bar's
Same
loaded.
rack heights also. Bar loaded for Anthony. This is 60 kilos. And his first attempt. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay, so Anthony communicating with our spotter about how he would like the bar to come out for him. In the bench press, we're allowed to have a spotter assist the lifter to get the bar in the correct starting position. You'll notice that Anthony's feet are flat, his elbows are straight.
Start. Press. Rack.
And he powers through 60. That was a very easy attempt. Plenty more there. 3 white lights. So in the sport of powerlifting, our lifters are given 3 attempts. I think the same rack height, same weight. So bar's loaded. Yeah, bar is loaded now. 60 kilos for Hamish McLean. Okay, so Hamish, training partner to Anthony, communicates with the spotter about how he wants the bar to come out. Very composed lifter that is, to have the composure to speak to the center spotter.
Straighten your arms. Place the bar.
Okay, and now Hamish is also told to replace the bar. So
Ankles.
A couple of technicalities.
So your
Main one
ankles-
being the feet are not
rolling in,
flat
they've
on,
got same rate.
makes it a
same
little bit more
weight.
challenging for newer lifters. This is Hamish's first contest,
Sorry.
but it is good to see him get a good lift from the board.
They can't go below 3 anyway. They've just got to go to 3. They can't be on 2. Bar's loaded.
Okay, bar is now loaded for Katie Springer, taking the same weight again, 60 kilos. We have lifters of all ages, weight classes, and experience levels, as I've mentioned. For example, the last 2 lifters, Hamish and Anthony, this is only their first contest, whereas Katie Springer, a little bit more seasoned. A couple of years into the sport. You'll notice the difference in execution here. This is a 60 kilo opening attempt for Katie.
Start. Press.
Very good control of the bar.
Rack.
And it's 3 white lights. Good lifting. Good lift. Okay, next weight on the bar is for Taylor Jane Sissons. Taylor benching 65 kilos. Very hefty bench opener there. 65 kilos, well over body weight for Taylor. Had a hard time in the squats, only managing 1 out of 3, but she's going to come out here and bench well over body weight. Bar is loaded for Taylor Jane Sissons. For lifters in the group, for lifters in the session of today, weigh-ins are open. Gear check is open. Weigh-ins are going to start in less than 10 minutes. So if you're lifting in the second session, make your way around to the weigh-in room, which is behind the platform, as gear check is ready, and weigh-ins are going to start shortly. For now, this is Taylor.
Start. Press. Rack.
Woohoo! I hear from the crowd, rightly so. It was a good lift.
Rob.
We're just waiting
Or
for
Jason.
Jason. There we go. And it's 3 white lights. Yeah, it's definitely a good lift. Alrighty. So a clean bill so far with almost all of our lifters making their opening attempts. We're going to 68, so it's a yellow plate. Little yellow plate, please. For Vanessa Trelaw. Vanessa is a lifter we haven't seen yet today. She didn't do the squat section. She's doing just the bench and the deadlift section of today's competition. Commonly referred to as a push-pull.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Vanessa. This is often an option for lifters who might have a squat-related injury and they opt out of the squat and instead compete in the bench press and deadlift, so they can still participate, but their result won't count towards the total.
Start. Press. Rack.
And that's a good lift for 68 kilos. Next up We're going to have Caitlin with 75 kilos. So you're watching the Brisbane Open here at the Brisbane Fitness Show. This is a 3-lift powerlifting competition. Powerlifting, a strength sport consisting of the 3 disciplines of squat, bench press, and deadlift. The best lift that you manage in each of the disciplines, your squat, your bench press, your deadlift, gets added together for your total. So for example, if you squat 100 kilos, bench press 50, and deadlift 100 kilos, that gives you a total of 250 kilos. And the winner is the person with the biggest total. Each lifter is awarded 3 attempts at each of the disciplines. You're watching the first attempt in the bench press. And this is Caitlin's first attempt at 75 kilos. Bar is loaded. This is a really big bench press. This is 12 kilos over body weight. So give her a round of applause. She also crushed her squats, managing a 130 kilo squat. So this will give her a 295 kilo subtotal. That's probably wrong. 205 kilo subtotal. Caitlin is in the top 10 junior lifters in Australia in the 64 kilo class. So quite a good lifter, actually. This is 75 in the first round.
Start. Press. Rack.
That's a nice attempt, and much like the squat, it's a very careful descent on the way down, but it works for her, and she's going to get 3 white lights, I suspect. Yes, 3 white lights. Good lifting for Caitlin. Okay, we now move into the second round, and in the second round, lifters are able to choose the loads that they want to take on, but they cannot choose weights less than what they've previously attempted. And because of this, you usually are a little bit more conservative in the first round. Make your lift, and from there, you decide what weights you want to take on in the second round based on how well you've been going. Unfortunately for my girl, who's lit first now? Should be my girl. We're going to speak to the tech table. Tech table, it should be my girl lifting now on 40 kilos, I think. Bit of confusion here. Yes, my girl, 40 kilos.
Same weight.
For her opening, for her repeating her opener weight. The bar is loaded.
Yep. Oh, hang on. That's
so if you remember in the first round, my girl had a bit of a hard time getting her feet flat on the floor. Oh, sorry. Change the rack height. We're going to stop the clock, please, tech table. Stop the clock. So if you remember in the first round, my girl had a bit of a hard time getting her feet flat on the floor and failed to get a start signal. Now the bar is loaded for my girl. So it was mainly a technical issue, not an issue in strength. In fact, she didn't even get the opportunity to attempt the weight. So all eyes on this attempt to ensure that her position is appropriate for the start signal, which means feet flat, elbows straight.
feet flat. Push your heels down. Start.
That looks a lot better.
Press. Rack.
And she powers through that one, gets the start call. Everything looks good to me. The referee's going to agree, I think. That's just waiting on Rob Wilkes. There we go. 3 white lights, good lift. So the strength, not an issue. Simply a case of technical execution. Hello. The referee's Okay, we're now loading the bar to 45 kilos. You can see our side referees collaborating. They often do this to ensure that they're following all the rules. For now, we've got 45 kilos for Nara.
Bars loaded. Bars loaded.
Just waiting on the chief referee signal.
Yeah,
Bars loaded.
I think it's all good.
Okay, Nara was successful in the first round. Pressed 40 kilos. And she's gone up 5 kilos. It's a pretty healthy increase in load now. Following Nara, we have Keely, Katie, Anthony, and Hamish.
Start. Press. Rack.
And she powers through the 45. And referees agree that it is a good lift, and that is 3 white lights for Nara. Okay, Keely Renke now takes a 3 kilo increase from her opening attempt. So if you remember her first attempt, it was 46 kilos, and it was a good lift. So far, she went 3 out of 3 on the squats, and she smoked her opening bench. I suspect this will be much the same, but
Bar's loaded.
for now, bar is loaded to 49 kilos. This is Keely Renke. You're here at the 2019 Brisbane Open. Sorry, you're watching the 2019 Brisbane Open here at the Brisbane Fitness Show, as hosted by Powerlifting Australia and Iron Underground.
Start. Press. Rack.
Very clean attempt there by Keely. And it's 3 white lift for Keely. She's 2 out of 2 on the bench press. So this powerlifting contest is sanctioned and hosted by Powerlifting Australia, sponsored by Iron Underground, SPD, Samtech, and City Strength. Iron Underground, premier powerlifting facility here in Brisbane, located in Albion. If you'd like to find out more about powerlifting and want to get involved, speak to Alana on the desk over here. To the right of the platform, Iron Underground have a little stall, so go see them. Bar is loaded now for Katie Springer. 64 kilos. This is on the bench press. A 4 kilo increase from the first attempt. Now Katie's best bench press is 65. So a kilo shy of that.
Start. Press.
Very nice descent and very good pause.
Rack.
Powered through that one, and I think the referee is going to say good lift. Yeah, good lifting. Nice attempt there by Miss Springer. Okay, Anthony Frelingos now, 65 kilos, a 5 kilogram increase from the first round. So far, a clean bill on the score sheet, besides my girl's first bench press attempt.
Bar's loaded.
Bar loaded now, 65 kilo, Anthony Frelingos. Anthony had a great squat section. Managing all 3 squats. So we now have 65 kilos on the bar. It's just under body weight on the bench press.
Start. Press. Rack.
And he powers through that one. Really well done. It's going to wait for the referees. Yeah, good lifting. Alrighty, same weight, same rack height. Bar loaded now for Hamish McLean. Hamish will be followed by Taylor and Vanessa.
Start. Press. Rack.
And much like the previous 65 that we saw, powered through that one by Hamish, and 3 white lights. Okay, the next lifter we have here is Taylor Jane Sissons. Now in the bench press, lifters have the option of grabbing the bar wherever they wish, so long as their grip is no wider than 81 centimeters apart. How do we know how far apart 81 centimeters are? Well, the bar is marked with rings. Bar loaded. The bar is marked with rings that you might be able to see that are 81 centimeters apart. So the lifter cannot take that width. You'll notice actually Taylor takes quite a modest grip width. The general rule of thumb is that the wider you go, the more you're using your pecs. And the narrower you go, the more you're using your arms and shoulders, your triceps and shoulders. So lifters will choose a grip width that suits their strengths.
Start. Press. Rack.
Excellent technique there by Taylor, and she nails a 70 kick. And it's a good lift, 3 white lights. So yeah, Taylor takes quite a modest grip to suit her strength. She's got strong arms. She's an ex-gymnast, so it's no surprise there. The next bar load is 72 kilos. The next lifter is Vanessa Trelaw. Bar is loaded now for Vanessa. Vanessa didn't compete in the squat section today. She's competing in the push-pull, which is the bench and the deadlift section, so she didn't do the squats. Will adopt this approach if they have a squat-related injury or something else that hinders their ability to squat, and they want to participate. So Vanessa out here for the second lift of her day. This is 72 kilos, four up on her first attempt at bench. Very strong bench, mind you, nearly 10 kilos above her body weight. Vanessa will be followed by Caitlin before the third round commences.
Start. Press. Rack.
Nice looking attempt again. And I think that's going to be 3 white lights. Jason Warden, please press on your, there we go, 3 white lights, good lift. Okay, folks, last bench press of the second round, so the heaviest bench press of the second round, goes to Caitlin. This is 80 kilos at only 64 kilo body weight. And she also squatted 130, so she's having a ripper day so far. Very talented subtotal lifter. This is 5 kilos up on her first attempt, which was 75. About 15 kilos above body weight for Caitlin.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. Okay, following Caitlin, we're going to start the third round with my girl, Nara, Keely, and Katie. This bench press section moving quite swiftly, actually. You see the lifters like to take their time to ensure that they're as stable and rigid as they can be, so all of their pushing power goes straight through the bar.
Start. Press. Rack.
Now, I'm impressed. She muscled that one through, but dare I say that's going to be a no lift. We're going to wait for the referee's decision on that, and that's a no lift from our referees for downward movement. So from the chest to lockout, the bar needs to come up in a smooth action. There can't be any downward motion. The bar can stop. It can stop for as long as it needs, but it can never come down. And if it comes down, that's reason for disqualification. It's a reason for a no lift. So on that lift, 2 red lights indicates that there was a downward motion on the bar.
Little red.
So a no lift. Awesome fight, though. It was a very, very tough battle to get that 80 kilos to go. About halfway down, you might have noticed that about halfway down, she kind of lost it and kind of dropped it on her chest. Probably indicates that she lost control of it a little bit. For now, the bar is loaded. This is 50 kilos, so a 10 kilo increase for my girl, Jeremiah. So a 25% increase on the previous attempt. Now, my girl is only 14 years of age, and she hails from Nauru. We have 50 kilos on the bar for the 14-year-old. My girl will be followed by Nara, Keely, and Katie.
Heels down. Start. Press. Rack.
She absolutely blasts that one off her chest. And the ref 3 white lights. So a good way to finish off the bench section for my girl after a really rocky start on the first attempt there where she was timed out. But it happens. The time pressure with less than a minute to make your attempt can get to even the best of us. For now, we've got 50 kilos for Nara. So this is the third attempt at benches. Bar is loaded. This is the heaviest bench we're going to see from Nara. Now, she only weighs 54 kilos, so this is a bar is loaded. Bar is loaded. Can we start the clock? Okay, let's give her a round of applause as she comes out here. This is her bench press. She's only 14 years of age from Nauru. She takes a lift off from the chief center spotter.
Start.
Really tight setup.
Press.
And she powers that one out. Really well done. I'm very impressed with that attempt. That was very good. 3 white lights. Good lifting. Way to Okay, so that's a good lift for Nara. 3 kilos above. 5 kilos above her second attempt. So 50 kilos adds to a total. So she's on a 130 kilo subtotal now. Okay, we've got 52 kilos on the bar. The bar is loaded for Keely Renke. This is another 3 kilo increase from her previous attempt. So her first attempt bench press, then went to 49, and now this is 52 kilos. She's been having a cracker of a day, going 3 out of 3 on the squats with a squat PB. And now her third attempt bench press is 52 kilos after going 2 out of 2. Well above her best bench, which previously stood at 45.
Start. Press. Rack.
Excellent execution there by Keely Renke. The middle, but it's 3 white lights and a good lift. She finishes her subtotal, so the subtotal being the sum of the squat and bench. 6 out of 6. With 140 kilos to her name. Okay, Katie Springer now. Now, Katie's second attempt bench was 64 kilos. It was quite a tough attempt, so we've gone up 2 kilos, and this will be for a personal best attempt. Her previous best effort has been 65, so 1 kilo above her best.
Push it up. Yep.
You'll notice that all of the attempts that our lifters make are in increments of 1, so we've got every 1 kilo increment available.
Thanks, Dave.
Bar is loaded now for Katie. Are allowed to be attempted.
Start. Press. Take the bar.
And unfortunately, just a kilo too heavy, to be honest. She had a really good effort on that. And tight pause, just a little too heavy today. So she walks away with a 64 kilo bench and a no lift there on the 66. Okay, 5 lifts to go in the third round of bench. This is Anthony Frilingos at 70 kilos. So Anthony and Hamish both attempting 70, followed by Taylor and Vanessa. Bar is
loaded.
Bar is loaded now for Anthony at 70 kilos. He runs up here onto the to take on his third attempt bench. Anthony followed by Hamish, followed by Taylor, Vanessa, and Caitlin. This is the third round of bench press for Group B in the morning session here at the Fitness Show.
Start. Press.
That is a solid grind. He's going to lock his elbows.
Rack.
That is an excellent effort by Anthony. The referee's going to say, it's good lifting. And he's pumped with that, and so he should be. Bar is loaded because we've got the same weight and the same rack height, same safeties for Hamish McLean. But an awesome fight there by Anthony. Really ground out that 70 kilos. I don't think he had another half kilo in him.
Bar's loaded.
Bar's loaded, yep, bar is loaded. Man, that was an awesome effort by Anthony. 70 kgs.
Start. Press. Replace the bar.
Just a little bit too heavy for Hamish, so it's going to be a no lift. And he finishes the day with 60. A little disappointed, but very good lifting for his first effort, first contest in the bench press here in powerlifting. Okay, 3 lifts left. First up is Taylor Jane. Taylor, actually an ex-gymnast, represented Australia at 2012 Indo-Pacific Championships.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. Scored herself a bronze medal actually at that tournament 7 years ago now. She's moved to powerlifting and she's going to take a 72 kilo bench press. About 15 kilos above body weight, so a very big bench press. A very good standard is to bench press your own body weight as a female. So this is a huge bench by Taylor. 72 kilos.
Start. Press.
Tight pause. And it comes straight up.
Rack.
Really good fight, actually. I think the referee's going to like that one. 3 white lights. Good lifting. Okay, we're now for Vanessa Trelaw, 75, which is a red plate, boys. This is 75 kilos for Vanessa Trelaw. Successful with 68.72, and she's now going up to 75 kilos. Vanessa's previous best bench press before today was 70 kilos. So she's already broken that on the second attempt bench with 72. Now she's looking to extend that another 3 kilos with 75.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded now for Vanessa. Let's give her a round of applause. Third attempt bench press, 5 kilos. Again, well over body weight here as a 64 kilo lifter. This is 75 kilos on the bar.
Start. Press. Replace the bar.
And unfortunately, I think that's going to be a no lift for, yeah, obviously, for Vanessa. It looked a little bit too heavy immediately off the chest. It was just a little bit slow. The bench press is a very cruel lift. 1 extra kilo, 2 extra kilos can be just too much, and it falls apart very quickly. What was an easy lift, and you add 2 kilos, and it's completely different.
Bar's loaded.
Okay, last lift of this section is bar is loaded now for Caitlin. This is 80 kilos. So Caitlin missed this on the second attempt. If she wants to go 2 out of 3, she's going to need to nail this lift. If you remember about 10 minutes ago, she had an almighty grind at 80 kilos and managed 1 white light. But 2 reds meant it was a no lift. So last bench press of Group B. Caitlin with 80 kilos.
Start. Press.
That is a much better attempt. That's comically easy compared to the 3 white lights. Okay, we're going to load the bar now to 55. That's a yellow plate. 55 is a yellow plate for Tonya Paf-Evra. You'll notice on that last attempt by Caitlin as compared to her second attempt, that third attempt was a lot faster on the way down, a lot more confident, smoother, and she didn't lose tightness halfway down like she did in the second round, which made a world of difference because that was easy. It made it look like a true second attempt. Okay, right now we've got Tonya Paf-Evra, 55 kilos. Tonya had a great squat section. Bar is loaded. She had a great squat section, going 3 out of 3 with 130 kilos, which was a 10 kilo PB if I remember right. Okay, we've got some Tonya fans. Yeah. We're followed by Jess, Joaquin, Laurie, and Hani. Opening attempt bench for Paf is 55 kilos.
Start. Press. Rack.
And very smooth opening attempt as you'd expect. That's going to be 3 white lights for Tonya. First attempt. Okay, Jess McManus now with 63. So our Group B lifters, which was that first group of about 10 lifters that you saw, have finished bench pressing. They're going to take a short break and they're going to start warming up for deadlifts now. While that's going on, our Group A lifters are taking to the platform. So these are our 72 kilo women, 69 kilo males.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. 100 kilo women and 77 kilo males. So we've got Jess McManus now. This is 63 kilos. Jess had a section in the end. squatting a 5 kilo personal best with 150. This is Jess McManus's first bench press, 63 kilos.
Start. Press. Rack.
Excellent technique by Jess. I don't see that being a problem. It's going to be 3. She's on the board for bench with 63 kilos to her name. Okay, we're now going to 70 kilos for Joaquin. Joaquin Evans, 70 kilo opening bench press. He'll be followed by Laurie and then Hani. Now, Hani is a huge bench presser, so stay tuned for that in about 2 minutes' time.
Loaded.
For now, bar is loaded for Joaquin at 70 kilos. This is Joaquin's first contest. Stellar squat section. Great squat section, going 3 out of 3 on the squats. You see, it takes a minute to speak to our spotter to tell him how he would like the bar to come out. In the bench press, lifters have the opportunity to have the spotter give them some assistance to get the bar into the starting position. And it's good practice to speak to the spotter and tell them exactly how you want the bar to come out.
Start. Press. Rack.
Threw that bar through the roof. Easy first attempt. 3 white lights for Joaquin. Kilos. Okay, we now move on to Laurie Abbott at 94 kilo body weight. Laurie squatted an Australian record, 185 kilos in this morning earlier, about an hour ago, which was an Australian record in the 55 to 59-year-old weight age category. Sorry. Now, in order for your single lift records to count, you need to put up a total. So, in order for to actually claim that record, he needs to get the bench and he needs to get a deadlift on the board.
It's not even.
And for now, his bench press is 105. So, in an odd way, this lift is to secure himself that squat record. Bar is loaded for Laurie Abbott, 105 kilos. And ladies and gents, you're at the Brisbane Fitness Show Brisbane Open, hosted by Powerlifting Australia. We've got 2 sessions of lifting today. The first session started at 10 a.m. this morning. That's us going now. These guys squatted earlier in the morning and are now bench pressing. They're going to follow up the bench press with some deadlifts. And our second session starts at 1:30, featuring another group of about 25 competitive lifters. For now, this is Laurie Abbott's first bench, 105 kilos.
Start. Press. Rack.
Nice pause, great bar path as it left his chest. Really good attempt. Get a 3 white lights. Yeah, good lifting by Laurie. Okay, next lifter is going to be Hani Cauchi. Now, Hani lifts in the 100 kilo class, and her first attempt is 108 kilos. So well over body weight in the bench press. And if she nails this lift, she's going to be going for the Australian Open record. So not an age-specific record, the Open record in the next round. In the second round of bench press. The Australian record is 112, and she's going to go to 113 on the second attempt. That's what I've been told by her coach, if she nails this lift. So we want to see her nail this so we can go to that Australian record on the next attempt. Let's give you a support as she comes out here. Bar is loaded for Hani Cauchi. 108 kilo, first attempt, huge bench press.
Just change. Honey, hang on, step back.
And unfortunately, the bar is not loaded. We're going to get her off the platform. There was an error in the rack height. It should be at rack 7. Can we restart the clock? Yes.
Sorry, Dev, thank you.
Bar is loaded now, 108 kilos. Bar is loaded. The 1 minute timer restarts. Let's give a round of applause. This is 108 kilos as the first attempt. You can almost think of this as a last warm-up before she comes out here for the Australian record attempt at 113.
Make sure I feed her on the blocks. Yep, that's it.
Now, you notice Hani uses foot blocks. This is to help her get her feet flat on the floor. We need the feet flat. Okay, really good lift off there.
Start.
Quick start call.
Press.
And she blasts that off her chest. Awesome attempt. 3 white lights, says the referees. That's a good lift. Okay, so one of the many requirements in the bench press section is that the lifter needs to have their feet flat on the floor. If for whatever reason the lifter struggles to do so, they are able to request bench blocks or foot blocks, as you saw Hani take full advantage of, so that they're able to get their feet flat on the floor. Okay, our next lifter is Beau Rutherford. He's going to attempt 120 kilos in the opening attempt. Solid bench opener at only 77 kilo body weight.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. I'm told bar is loaded for Beau. Our next 4 lifters are all in the 77 kilo weight class.
Start. Press. Rack.
And a smooth opener, as you'd suspect. 3 white lights for Beau Rutherford. We're going to add another 5 kilos to the bar. This is going to go to 125 for Joel Wieland. You're watching the Brisbane Open, a 3-lift powerlifting contest here at the Brisbane Fitness Show. If you are interested in powerlifting or interested in strength training in general, building your strength through the barbell lifts, through good technique, I highly suggest you go see our major sponsors, Iron Underground. They've got a table over here to the right. You can see Alana, and she'll help you out. For now, bar is loaded for Joel Whelan's 125 kilo bench opening attempt. Joel had a great squat section, going 2 out of 3, managing a 200. He now comes out here for 125 bench opener. He'll be followed by Tucker and Isha Singh.
Start. Press. Rack.
It's a good looking lifts, and the referee's going to say it's a good lift for at 125. You'll notice that Joel's a little bit shaky at the start. There's no reason for disqualification or red lights. Some lifters just find it hard to stabilize at the top, but he managed to blast through his 125 bench opener, so very good lifting by Joel. Okay, this is Taka Miyamoto's bench opener, living up to his Japanese heritage with a really good bench press here. The Japanese are renowned for their bench pressing prowess.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded with a 135 kilo bench opener. Very strong opener here for a lifter only in their first contest. He had an excellent squat section, squatting 183 kilos for a 3 kilo personal best. And now he's out here with 135 kilos as a bench opener. He takes quite a modest grip also.
Start. Press. Rack.
Oh, very powerful pressing by Taka Miyamoto. And as a man of lots of bench, 3 white lights, it's a good lift. Okay, adding 2.5. Add 2.5. This is 140 now for Isha Singh. Now, if you've been here since this morning, if you've been here since 10 o'clock, you might have noticed that Isha is a lifter we haven't seen yet. He didn't compete in the squat section. Today he's competing in the bench only. Lifters also have the option of competing bench only.
Thanks, Steph. Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Isha. Isha is actually the 2018 Oceania bench champion. So you notice he's got a very strong bench on him, 140 kilo bench opener. 100 bench opener. At 77 kilo body weight. So bench specialist, so to say.
Start. Press. Rack.
Another very powerful press there. Very clean technique. I like that. But unfortunately, it's going to be a no lift.
Missed the call.
Two referees deeming that a no lift.
It's a call for me, and
The reason for disqualification might be a little confusing, but what he did was he beat the referee's signals. So Dave Keong, chief referee's got a little headset so you can hear his signals. And he tells the lifter to start, he tells the lifter to press, and he tells the lifter to rack. He only says press when the bar is motionless on the chest. And if the lifter starts pushing the bar before he said the word press, then it's a no lift. The lifter has to wait on the chest and show control and show that the bar is motionless to get the press signal upon which they're allowed to push. So you're going to notice in these lifters, now that you know that, you're going to notice that a little more carefully. And unfortunately for Isha, it was a no lift.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Tonya Paf-Evra.
Just wipe it off.
So in this lift, if you're uninitiated, you can keep an ear out for our chief referee signals, which are going to be start, press, and rack. Especially that press call, which only comes once the bar is motionless on the chest.
Start. Press. Rack.
Okay, very good pressing by Paf. And she waited for her signals, and she gets 3 white lights. That's a good lift. Our next lifter, Jess McManus, takes a 5-kilo increase from her previous attempt. Previous round, she attempted 63 kilos, was successful. We now go up 5 kilos to 68. And Jess is looking to add 5 kilos to her total. She's in the 72-kilo class, but came in at 68 kilos body weight. So this is pretty much a bench press that is equivalent to her body weight. Very good standard is to bench press your body weight as a female. Bar is loaded now for Jess McManus. 8 kilos. So we're here at the Brisbane Fitness Show. Watching the Brisbane Open.
Start. Press. Rack.
Excellent pressing there by Jess, and it's 3 wide. That's 5 kilos to her bench press. Good lifting. Okay, the next weight is going to be 80 kilos. This is for Joaquin Evans. Now, our Brisbane Open, this contest that you're watching here, is an open invite contest. We've got lifters from all walks of life, from all age categories, weight categories, big and small, different backgrounds, all united by a pursuit to build their strength and improve their lifting through the 3 disciplines of the squat, bench press, deadlift. The bar is loaded for Joaquin, 80 kilos, second attempt bench, 10 kilos, very easily opener of 70 kilos.
Start. Press. Rack.
And I think that's going to be a good lift. The referees agree. 3 white lights. Absolutely no problems with that attempt. So it's a good lift. Okay, now, huge attempt coming up. Hani Kozi, 113 kilos, if you remember. About 10 minutes ago, I explained that the Australian record in the open age category, so not an age-specific category, but in the open age category, the Australian record is 112 kilos. We now have Hani coming out here to break the open 100-kilo weight class bench press record with 113 kilos. She hails from Iron Underground, our main sponsors of today's event. The bar is loaded. Let's give her a round of applause if you want to see an Australian record in the bench press. Huge bench press here by Hani, 113 kilos by the young lady.
Yep, that's it.
She absolutely smoked her opener at 108. This is only 5 kilos above.
feet on the blocks. The blocks have got to come back. Your feet are hanging off the back.
Okay, she's got 10 seconds, ladies and gents. The clock should still continue to run. There we go.
Replace the bar.
The clock's got to continue to run. You can't stop the clock.
With your foot's hanging off the back. So guys, you've got to set.
So it's
this to
time,
a beat.
unfortunately. Dave.
Yeah, it's out.
That's time.
It's out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's going to be a no lift
Your feet were
for
hanging
Hannah Rose.
hanging off the back.
Hannah Cauchi, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I was getting the boys. Your foot came back again. You put it on there.
So you'll notice that to the left we've got a clock, and the lifter has a minute to make their attempt on the platform. And if the lifter doesn't get the lift out in time, it's going to be a no lift. So give her a round of applause. She's going to be awarded a no lift for that. But she's not out. She's got another 10 minutes. She's going to reattempt that in the third round of the bench press section. So a little bit of confusion there, unfortunately. But come out here and have another go.
Moved it back under her foot enough. Does she get another lift? Yeah, I'll give her another lift. Yeah, she can have that again. Paul, you can.
Okay, our next lifter is going to be Laurie Abbott with 113 kilos. So the same weight that Hani was attempting, except he's in the 94 kilo class.
Okay, so
Laurie will be followed by Bo, Joel, Taka, and Isha.
spotted in mood.
This is a powerlifting contest sanctioned by Powerlifting Australia. So we're following all the rules dictated by Powerlifting Australia and our affiliates World Powerlifting. Powerlifting Australia is the premier drug-free powerlifting federation in Australia. If you're interested in strength training, powerlifting, barbell sports, or anything of the like, if you want to improve yourself and build strength, build muscle, we highly suggest you go see our major sponsor, Iron Underground. They're a powerlifting gym specializing in strength training, located in Albion, Queensland. You can see the table to the right here to find out more about Iron Underground and how you can get involved in the sport of powerlifting. For now, our bar is loaded. This is Laurie Abbott with 113 kilos. Don't pause the clock. They stop the clock. They can't stop it until they have the start signal. Okay, 113 kilos for Laurie Abbott.
Press.
Very nice pause. He pushes back.
Rack.
That's excellent bench press technique. As coached by Paul Thompson. Paul is a great bench press coach. A number of coming out of Iron Underground. Robert Wilkes, yeah, there we go. 3 white lights, good lift. Okay, I've just been informed that Hani Cauchi, who had some technical difficulties on her bench press, has been given the opportunity to retake the second attempt at the end of the round. So she's getting another chance because of an error from the spotting crew. Which happens? Her coach has appealed. The referees have approved the appeal. So she's going to come out here and have that 113 again in about 5 minutes. For now, we've got Bo Rutherford. This is 125 kilos. Bar is loaded for Bo. 5 kilo increase from the opening attempt, which was 120. Bo's had a great day of lifting so far. 3 out of 3 on the squat with 200. Huge bench milestone. Now, a fairly big bench, a huge squat milestone. And for now, a huge bench at 125 at 77. This is a very solid bench press for a 77 kilo lifter. He'll be followed by Joel, Taka, and Isha.
Start. Press.
Powers through that really well. Crowd is happy, and 3 white lights. That's a good lift. Okay, 3 bench presses to go. This is going to be Joel Wheeland with 130, so a 5 kilo increase from his previous attempt, which was 125. You're watching the Brisbane Open here at the Brisbane Fitness Show. Bar is loaded for Joel Wheeland at 130 kilos. So you see the lifters take their time in setting their position up so that they're as stable as can be. Very important principle of barbell lifting is you want stability.
Start. Press. Rack.
Now it just looked like he fell out of the groove of that bar path there. Let's see what the referees think of that. And it's going to be a no lift. 3. If you've been sitting in, I've explained this a couple of times, but for those that have just walked by, in any of the lifts, so the squat, bench press, or deadlift, the bar has to come up in one smooth line. It can't move downwards once it started coming up. So you'll notice on that on Joel's attempt, if you were paying close enough attention, is that on the way up, kind of stopped, fell back down, and then came back up again. So that's reason for disqualification, reason for a no lift. So that's a no lift for Joel.
Bar's loaded.
For now, we've got 143. Bar is loaded for Taka Miyamoto. With weights that are this heavy, the groove or the line or the bar path is very critical. And if the lifter falls out of their bar path, it makes the lift more difficult. Sometimes the bar falls back into line, but that fall is reason for disqualification. So technique is a very critical component of success in powerlifting. Speaking about technique, Taka Miyamoto now, 143 kilos. Huge bench press at only 77 body weight.
Start. Press. Rack.
That's a huge bench press, all triceps and all white lights, I think. 3 white lights, great. Okay, we're going to load the bar to 150. This is for Isha Singh. Now, if you remember in the first round, Isha failed his opening attempt. Not muscularly failed, he didn't actually fail the lift, but he was awarded a no lift because he beat the signals from our chief referee. Those signals being start, press, and rack. You have to wait for our referee to give you those signals before you can pretty much do anything on the bench. So he's chosen to go up another 10 kilos nonetheless. Bar is loaded for Isha. He's chosen to go up 10 kilos. This is for 150 kilos. Isha is competing in the bench press only section, so not a lot riding on today's. He's told me that this is more of a training contest, build up his competition experience as he aims to compete internationally later in the year. So he's gone up 10 kilos, and he needs this lift to register a successful bench in today's contest. It's equal to his personal best, actually.
Start. Press. Rack.
The clean press. I think that was a good lift to me. What does the referee say? 3 white lights. Good lifting. So no troubles at all on that attempt. Very obedient lifter. Waited for his signals. And he gets 3 white lights. A good lift. Okay, now we're going to load the bar to 113. So we've got one more lifter for this round. That's going to be Hani Cauchi. If you remember about 5 minutes ago, bit of a technical issue. Had the blocks in the wrong spot, the foot blocks, which meant that she wasn't able to get the start call, which meant she ran out of time. And the referees have granted her the opportunity to retake her second attempt on the premise that it was not a fault of the lifter, but an error on the spotter's hands, which happens sometimes.
You adjust it to her foot's got to be fully on the block.
So Dave Keong, our chief referee, just instructing our spotters exactly what he wants to see in order to give our lifter the best opportunity to take on this lift. I'm going to remind you, this is an Australian record attempt. Bar is loaded for Hani Cauchi. Let's give her your support as she comes out here for an Australian attempt. One kilogram above the current Australian record, which sits at 112 kilos. This is 113 as a 100 kilo lifter.
Start. Press. Rack.
Absolutely crushes that one. She's pumped. We're going to wait for the referees for confirmation, but I think that was good. It is. It's 3 white lights, a new Australian record on the bench. And the best part of all is she's got one more attempt to add even more weight to the bar. She's going to be out here in about 5 or 6 minutes, looking to add more kilos to the bar. Okay, pretty clean bill so far. Only one lifter missing in that round of lifts. which was Joel Whelan's technicality on the downward motion, if you remember, on 130. Okay, third round of bench press. The last few benches before we take a break and move on to deadlifts. $62 kilos for Paf Evera.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Paf. She was successful in the squat section, managing 3 out of 3 and a 130 kilo lift. She's now taking a weight that is 7 kilos above her best bench press effort, which was previously 55, now 62 we're loading. Bar is loaded. Yeah. Okay, let's give her a round of applause. This is to go 6 out of 6 so far.
Start. Press.
A little bit too heavy. And nice attempt anyway. Good lifting. So the previous attempt for Paf was 60 kilos. So she's credited with that. And it's a no lift at 62. So that extra 2 kilos, really tough to handle when you're in the bench press. Speaking about another 2 kilos, this is Jess McManus taking on 70, which was 2 above her previous attempt at 68. Bar loaded. She's looking to add 2 kilos to her total. This will take her up to a subtotal of 218. She'll go well above 350 once she takes on the deadlifts.
Start. Press. Take the bar.
And it's just a little too heavy there for Jess. Again, another great demonstration of how that extra 2 kilos on the bar can be really heavy in the bench press especially. We're going to load the bar now for Joaquin. This is 85. He was successful at 70, 80, and now he's loading 85 kilos. He'll be followed by Laurie, Hani, and Bo.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Joaquin. 85 kilos. He's had a great day so far. Hasn't missed. Let's see if we can keep that trend rolling for Wack.
Start. Press. Rack.
Okay, he presses it out. The referee's going to say it's a good lift, 2 highlights. So chief referee deeming that a no lift, but it's hit the pins. Yeah, those pins are quite high. Even 2 is quite high, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, but it's a good lift. So he's gone 6 out of 6 with 85 kilos on the bench press and 140 kilos on the squat. So great lifting so far by Wack. Okay, we're now loading the bar to 115 kilos. This is for Laurie Abbott. Laurie looking to add another 2 kilos to his total.
He's got another lift, though. He hasn't got another lift.
We all right? Okay, Laurie Abbott now taking on 115 kilos.
Bar's loaded.
And a bar is loaded for Laurie. Bar loaded, bar loaded. Bar is loaded. Start the clock. There we go. Thank you. Give a round of applause as he comes out. Third bench of 115. He'll be followed by Hani Cauchi, who only moments ago broke the Australian record in the bench press. This is the last round of bench press here at the Brisbane Fitness Show, the first session of today. We've got session 2 starting from 1:30.
Press. Place the bar.
And unfortunately, that's just a little bit too heavy for Laurie Abbott. Finishes the day on 113 for the bench. So he's only dropped 2 kilos there on the bench press. Again, another 2 kilo increase, proving just too much. Okay, Hani Cauchi, 116 kilos. Huge bench press by the young lady. She broke the open age Australian bench record only 5 minutes ago with 113 kilos. We're now adding another 3 kilos. This is for 116. Bar is loaded now for Hani. Let's give a round of applause. Brisbane Kelly at Iron Underground. Bronze medalist from the 2018 Australian Championships. Seasoned lifter. Clearly going for a new Australian record in the bench, looking to extend her own record by 3 more kilos.
Start. Press.
And a little too heavy there. She'll come out and get that next time, but for now she finishes the day with a 113 kilo bench. Awesome bench press. New Australian record, in fact. Okay, 4 bench. First we have Bo Rutherford with 129. Bo successful with 120, successful with 125. Now taking 129. Adding a 2 kilo to each side. This is 129 for Bo. Bar is loaded for Bo Rutherford. 3rd attempt at bench press. He's having a great day. He too hasn't missed the lift so far. So let's keep that momentum rolling as he comes out here for 129 kilos. Bench, the heaviest bench Bo is going to take on today.
Straighten your arm. Yep. Start. Press. Rack.
Great pressing there. That looks good to me. The referees are going to say, just wait. 3 white lights, good lifting. So, Bo Rutherford, great display by someone who's only in his 2nd contest. He's at 6 out of 6. Okay, Joel Wheeland has enormous pressing power. He pressed 130 kilos in the 2nd round about 10 minutes ago, but was awarded a no lift due to a technicality. We saw some downward motion of the bar. If he keeps his technique and keeps the bar in line, he has no reason to fail this lift. Bar is loaded for Joel. Let's give him your support. He wants to get out here and add 5 kilos to his total. He's on so far a 125 kilo bench. And this will give him 130, so this is another 5 kilos. Round of applause. 3rd attempt bench. This is Joel Whelan. To be followed by Tucker and Isha.
Start. Press. Rack.
Much better line, it looks like. Looks a lot like a 2nd attempt should.
Okay.
3 white lights, good lift. Right, great way to come back. It can be disheartening when you miss a lift, but to come back and nail a lift like that's very, very good. Speaking about very good, we've got 2 lifters left, and the first one is Taka Miyamoto. He's going for a big milestone, 150 kilos on the bench. Nice round number, 150 kgs. Successful 2 out of 2 so far. He takes quite a modest grip, not too wide. All arms, all triceps.
Bar's loaded.
Bar loaded now for Taka Miyamoto, coachless in his first contest. But he's lifting like a seasoned veteran now, 150 kilos. The battle in the 77s heats up with 3 lifters, sorry, battling it out for the total. It's going to be a close battle, actually.
Start. Press.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Back.
nice bench press. Slow down through the middle, but he powered it out. And 3 white lights. So excellent lifting by Taka Miyamoto. Yeah, really like to see that. Okay, we've got one bench press left. This is Isha Singh. So, ladies and gents, you're watching the 3-lift Brisbane Open here at the Fitness Show. We finished the squat section. This is the last lift of the bench press section before deadlifts get underway.
Bars loaded.
This is Isha Singh. Bar is loaded with 155 kilos. So, over double body weight here for Isha. Let's give him your support. 155.
Start. Press.
And just a little too heavy today for
your
Isha,
language,
so that's
lifter?
going to be a no lift.
What's your left? Language, rather.
Okay, you're watching the Brisbane Fitness Show, the Brisbane Open. That's the bench press section completed. This is a 3-lift powerlifting contest. So the deadlifts are to come. That's going to be in 10 minutes from now. 20 lifters taking to the platform today. We started at 10 o'clock for the squat section. These lifters have already completed the squat and bench press, and they're warming up for the deadlifts now, or they should be warmed up. First lift will be Nara Val Herman. We're just going to get our referees into position. Take the jack off, boys. You put that weight on the ground. Okay, we've got 70 kilos on the bar. Our first lifter is Nara Van Herman. We're going to center the bar also.
Straighten it up and center it over a bit, mate. Pull it. Pull the bar. Yep, perfect. Bar's loaded.
Okay, bar is now loaded.
Oh, no, we've still got 50. No, we've still got a minute. It's all good.
Okay, Nara Van Herman, first attempt at 70 kgs.
Down.
Very easy. Okay, unlike in the bench press component, the deadlift only has one signal, and that's a down signal. So the lifter can commence the lift when they're ready. The lifter can commence the lift whenever they are ready.
Oh.
But at the top, they've got to hold the bar for a moment before they put the bar on the ground. Next weight is 90, so it's a red, white, and 2.5. This is for my girl Jeremiah. She'll be followed by Keely, Taylor, Anthony, and Caitlin. Okay, so a couple of lifters here pretty close on the subtotals. It'll be interesting to see who takes out the medals in each of the weight classes.
Push that up, Dev, please. Thank you.
Okay, we've got 90 kilos on the bar. This
Bar's
is for
loaded.
Margot, bar loaded. So our first two lifters, Nara and Margot, both 14 years of age and from Nauru. Competing here today in Brisbane.
Down.
That's a very strong lift. 3 white lights. So today's powerlifting competition is a 3-lift event, which means we do squat, bench press, and deadlift. Our lifters have already squatted and benched. We're now doing the deadlift component. And this is to add more weight to your total. And this will determine what the placings are, because the winner is the person with the biggest total. So we're trying to lift the most weight we can. The lifters are split into weight classes, so you only compete against people of the same body weight as you. Bar loaded now for Keely Renke. Although we're all split into weight classes, the lifters all compete amongst each other. So we have lifters from different weight classes, from as light as 58 kilos in the women's, as well as 94 kilo men's. So all the lifters compete amongst each other, but not necessarily against each other. Now, this is Keely. That's a very clean attempt at 95 kgs. And the bar, and the referees say, just waiting on one referee, 3 white lights, as expected. Now, the lifters get 3 attempts in the deadlift component. Just like in the squat and bench, they get 3 attempts. And after each attempt, you can't choose a weight in the next round that's lighter than the weight you've just gone for. So if you fail an attempt, your next attempt has to be the same weight or heavier, which means that you end up choosing lighter weights at the start and building from there. Bar is loaded, 110 kilos. In the deadlift especially, the deadlift is quite a fatiguing lift. So the lifters are even more conservative in the first round. It's also a much less complicated lift. So the first round is often quite conservative and really easy, actually, as demonstrated now by Taylor. Very good opening attempt at 110 kilos. Okay, we're now going to load the boat at 123.
No. Leave it.
123 for Anthony Ferlingos.
I'll tell you when.
So we've got Anthony, Caitlin, Vanessa, Katie, and Hamish to come. The deadlift is the most simple of the lifts to comprehend. The bar starts on the floor, and the lifters just have to pick it up and stand straight with the knees locked, hips fully extended, shoulders back. So fairly straightforward.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. Lifters can take one of 2 techniques, really. The conventional technique with the legs on the inside of the arms, or the sumo technique with the legs on the outside of your arms. So the previous lifter, Taylor, took the conventional stance, whereas here, Anthony takes a sumo stance. Both styles are legal and good
Down.
attempt there. And the lifter can decide for themselves which technique they'd prefer. Okay, good lift. 3 white lights. Caitlin out next with 127. Two reds. Caitlin will be followed by Vanessa and Katie.
Bars loaded.
Bar loaded now for Caitlin. This is 127. So Caitlin's had a great day of lifting. Managed 2 squats, 2 bench presses. Now she comes out here for a opening deadlift of 127.
Down.
Nice looking opening attempt. 3 white lights, no issues with that. We're going to load the bar with 1 extra kilo. This is 128.
Little yellow.
And this is going to be for Vanessa Trelaw. She'll be followed by
Little
Katie
yellow.
and Hamish.
Little yellow, that's it.
Okay, Vanessa is competing in the push-pull section today. So she didn't squat, just doing the bench and deadlift.
Bars loaded.
Bars now loaded with 128 kilos. So opening round of deadlifts, often quite straightforward, no complications.
Down.
That was a nice attempt. 3 white lights, good lifting. Okay, we're now going to load the bar to 145. This is for Katie Springer. So the deadlifts, because the bar's on the ground and not in the racks, the changing of the weights actually happens quite quickly. So it's a very fast-paced
Bars
lift.
loaded.
Bar loaded, very fast-paced. So the lifters don't get a lot of rest between attempts either. And as a result, they end up taking much more conservative openers, saving energy and trying to build up to a really good last attempt. Very powerful drop in there.
Down.
Great lifting. And 3 white lights, another good lift. Okay, last lift of the first round. This is Hamish McLean's opener for 160 kilos.
Bars loaded.
Bar loaded for Hamish. Bar loaded. Okay, following Hamish, we're going to have Nara, Margirl, and Keely.
Down.
Okay, not a bad attempt. A little shaky at the top. 3 red lights, unfortunately. It's going to be a no lift. So
Didn't lock
the,
out.
at the top of the lift,
and up and
yeah,
down.
you can
Went
do
down.
the patting the knees. Yeah, so at the top of the lift, the knees have to be straight and the hips have to be extended, shoulders have to be back. It's pretty common to see actually in earlier lifters early in their career is that they lean back at the top because they're trying to lift it as high as they can. They lean back and they end up not locking their knees. Their knees end up being soft. You need straight knees. So that's going to be a no lift for Hamish. Clearly not a strength issue. Definitely has a strength.
Put it down.
Just a little bit of inexperience coming out in Hamish. It's only his first contest, so he's going to come out and reattempt that, I presume, and absolutely smoke that one. We're now bringing the bar back down to 80 kilos. This is for Nara Val Herman, the 14-year-old. This is an 80 kilo second attempt.
Just center it that way a bit more, Dev. Just pull it that way. Yeah.
Alrighty, bar loaded, 80 kilos for Nara.
Thanks, mate.
Fact that I can't get.
Down.
Okay, very strong second attempt deadlift. And 3 white lights again, good lifting. Okay, my girl Jeremiah now, another 10 kilos for her. She successful at 90 and we're now going to 100. 14 years of age from Nauru. For those that have just joined us, you're at the Brisbane Fitness Show. You're watching the Brisbane Open 3-lift powerlifting contest hosted by Powerlifting Australia. For now, bar is loaded. This is 100 kilos for my girl Jeremiah. You see the lifters apply a lot of chalk to their hands. The chalk dries out their hands, prevents any moisture from ruining their grip. Very powerful 100 kilo deadlift. And it's going to be a good lift. 3 white lights. Okay, next lifter is Keely Renke, 105 kilos. Keely was successful with 95. She hasn't missed a lift all day. She's in her second contest, but it looks like she's been lifting her whole life under the tutelage of older sister Tara Renke, who is a seasoned veteran actually. Keely takes on a 10 kilo increase in her deadlift from 95 to 105. Bar loaded. Bar is loaded with Keely Renke. Keely will be followed by Taylor, Anthony, Vanessa.
Down.
Nice lifting there. A lot of strength. 3 white lights, good lifting. Okay. 125 kilos is next. That's 2 red plates. This is for Taylor Jane Sissons. So Taylor, very new to powerlifting, only her second contest. She takes on 125 kilos.
Bar's loaded.
Bar loaded now for Taylor. Very quick loading by our spotting team. Doing a great job keeping the lifters safe and moving this competition through smoothly. Taylor, 125.
Down.
Lots of strength. A little shaky through the midpoint. She felt that, but it's 3 white lights and it's a good lift. Okay, our next lifter is going to be Anthony Ferlingos with 135 kilos. These weights are getting fairly heavy for these guys. This is Ant's first contest and he's only 17 years of age. The young man has taken a 12 kilo jump from his previous deadlift attempt to deadlift 135, bar loaded.
Down.
Nice, strong attempt. No issues. So that's a good lift for Anthony. Adding another 12 kilos to his total. Okay, next up we have Vanessa Trelaw. Vanessa also increasing her deadlift by 10 kilos. This is a 138 kilo attempt.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Vanessa. Okay, Vanessa, 138. She'll be followed by the really tight battle of Caitlin and Katie, the 2 Kates. Very good technique.
Down.
Very firm finish as well. I like that. That looks good to me. And it is a good lift. She is credited with 138. Okay, our next lifter will be Caitlin. Caitlin's total currently is 337, and she's in first place. But nipping at her heels is the Katie Springer to follow with 332. So only 5 kilos separate these 2 lifters. Although Caitlin very much has the upper hand with a lighter body weight and a much bigger jump on the deadlift. Bar loaded, she takes a 12 kilo jump. So if she takes this lift, it might be just enough to put Katie out of reach. but that's the C. For now, she's got to make this lift at 139.
Down.
Very strong attempt at 139. She's pumped with that. So she should be. Not a single thing wrong, and that's a good lift for Caitlin. Okay, so Caitlin's total is currently on 349. We now have Katie Springer, and with this lift, it'll give her a 343 total. So she will be 6 kilos behind Caitlin. Katie will be 6 kilos behind Caitlin if she makes this lift. So, fairly tight battle that one is, and it'll be interesting to see how these lifters cope. Okay, bar loaded now for Katie Springer. 156 kilo deadlift, nearly 100 kilos above body weight. So a big deadlift. Let's give her your support. Huge lift now.
Down.
Good fight there. Okay, it's going to be a good lift. Not a problem there for Katie. Kind of knocked the bar as it left the ground, like her shins kind of pushed the bar forward and made that a bit harder for her than it needed to be. So the strength isn't an issue. I think if she executes well in the third, she's got a good chance of a little bit more there.
Get it right up.
Okay,
Nina.
so far our score sheet is a perfect clean bill of health with all white lights, bar one. Hamish McLean missed his opening deadlift on a technicality, not on strength. He's chosen to go up 5 kilos. He needs to do exactly the same thing he did on the last attempt, but simply pull his shoulders back and lock his knees, stand straight at the top.
Bar's loaded.
Sounds easy in theory, quite difficult in practice. For now, bar loaded, Hamish McLean, 165. Give him your support. It's only his first contest. And he's just got to get out here and execute this well.
Down.
What do the referees think of that one?
You've got to lock your knees out.
And it's going to be a no lift. So a similar result as the previous attempt. I did see him make the effort, but just not enough. Powerlifting is a sport very dependent on technique. And when it's a technique that you've practiced hundreds of reps in the gym, it can be very hard to override your habits and the technique that you've been building in the gym, which is why it's very important to have a coach. If you're looking at learning more about strength training, finding out more about how you can get involved, how you can find a coach to teach you correct technique, I highly suggest you go see Iron Underground, our major sponsor for today. Iron Underground over here, give us a wave. If you want to find out more, they're based in Albion, so not far. You can hire yourself a coach, learn more about strength training, build your strength with good technique. So big thanks to Iron Underground for supporting this event and actually making this a real, pulling all this together. Okay, last round of deadlifts now. We've got Nara Val Herman taking 85 kilos, bar loaded. Third attempt deadlift. This is the final lift that she's going to take for today. So let's give her your support. At only 14 years of age, coming out here, lifting on the main stage here at the Brisbane Fitness Show. 85 kilos. She's a very powerful lifter. She's got a big smile, and with good reason. The referees are going to say that that is a good lift. Great way to finish the day for her. She finishes with a 215 kilo total. Okay, next weight that's going on the bar is 110. Red, yellow, 2.5. Red, yellow, 2.5. This is for my girl, Jeremiah.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded. Bar is loaded for Jeremiah, for my girl Jeremiah. She'll be followed by Keely, Taylor, Jane, and Vanessa.
Down.
Very powerful attempt from my girl. The two Nauruan teenagers finish the day on a good note. That's a 110 kilo deadlift. Okay, speaking about teenagers, 15-year-old Keely Renke has so far had a great day of lifting. She's managed every attempt, hasn't missed a single one. Managing PBs in every lift as well. For now, bar is loaded. This is 11 kilos above what she's ever previously deadlifted. So a huge deadlift. 111 kilos for Keely Renke. Give her your support as she comes out of here for 111.
Down.
Nice attempt. And unfortunately, it's going to be a no lift. So a similar issue as what we've seen previously from Hamish. It's the shoulders not coming all the way back and the knees being soft. When the weights get heavy and the lifters get fatigued, it can be very tempting to slacken off at the top and relax your legs. You need to instead squeeze your quads, is what I like to say. Lock your quads, pull your shoulders back, stand straight and tall. One way I like to describe it is that this is your profile photo on Facebook. You don't want to look slouched. You want to stand tall and straight. It looks good. So stand tall and straight and you'll get white lights. But Keely Renke, great day so far. Great day nonetheless. 8 out of 9. PBs in every lift. So she can't be unhappy with herself. For now, bar is loaded. This is Taylor Jane Sissons. Last lift of the day. This is a 10-kilo increase on her last attempt. The ex-gymnast taking on nearly 300 pounds. She's firing it up. She's got it. Let's go. Come on, Taylor. Finish it off. Finish it off. And just a little bit too heavy there. She had a red-hot crack, though. It looked like she was going to fail that long before she actually put the bar down. She really fought that one through, but it just proved a little bit too heavy. Okay, folks, we've got 5 lifts to go before session 1 of the Brisbane Open comes to a close. That's 5 lifts. That's 5 rounds of applause. Lots of energy to come. This is Vanessa Treloar. Last lift of her day, 141 kilos. Bar loaded for Vanessa, 141 kilos. Last lift. Give her your support as she comes out here. Awesome fight. Come on, Ness. Down. Really strong lockout after a sticky midpoint. The referees say 3 white lights. That's a good lift. Really good battle there with a bar for Vanessa. It can be very tempting for these lifters. They've been lifting for 2.5, 3 hours. They're very fatigued. And it can be very tempting to just give up on the bar, but they continue to fight through as the bar slows down. So very good lifting there by Ness. Okay, 4 lifts left. First off is Anthony Ferlingus. Bar loaded for Ants as he comes out here, 143 kilos.
Down.
Nice fight. He's happy with it. And I think so too are the referees. That's a good lift. Finishes the day on an excellent note. That's 3 out of 3 on the deadlifts, 333 on the total. So very good first contest for Anthony Ferlingos. Okay, the battle of the 64s continues. This is Caitlin Barraclough. If she makes this lift, she pretty much secures herself first place in this weight class, in the 64 class. This is 147.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Caitlin. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes out here. Last lift of the day. And it just proves a little too heavy, so that's going to be a no lift for Caitlin. Next up is Kate Springer. She's currently got 160 in, but I see Coach Cal Rowson's coming in to make a change. It's going to be 163 is the weight that she needs. So 163 is the change. So As I've explained a couple of times in the sport of powerlifting, the winner is the person with the biggest total. By missing that lift, Caitlin leaves herself on a 349 kilo
mate.
total. And if if Katie makes this lift, she'll be taken up to a 350 kilo total.
Oh, yellow, sorry.
So
Yellow.
she's going to take out the lead by 1 kilo on Caitlin. That is, Katie needs this lift, which is a 7 kilo increase on her previous attempt to take the win
Bars loaded.
in the 64 kilo class. If you want to say take the win, give a round of applause. Bar is loaded for Katie Springer. 163 kilos. Goes on the bar to Pip by 1 kilo.
Down.
Alrighty, that's a good lift, and that's the win for Katie Springer. 350 kilos. That's a 350 kilo total, and she takes the win. All right, ladies and gents, I want you to take a look at this score sheet. You see a sea of green, but unfortunately for Hamish McLean, he's got 2 reds to his name on the deadlift. If he misses this lift, he's rewarded with no total. He gets no total for the day, and his results in the squat and bench press are invalidated. He needs this lift if he wants a total. It's his only first contest, so give him a round of applause. This is Hamish McLean. Bar is loaded with 165 kilos. Come on, Haim. Let's give him your support. Come on, last lift of the day. Last lift of this morning session. Come on, Haim.
Down.
That looks good. And it's a good lift. And he's on the board. He gets 340 kilos on the total. It is a very daunting task to come back after missing 2 lifts and take out your third to put together a total. So really well done to Hamish. That was a great deadlift to finish off Group B of this morning's session. Okay, we now move on to Group A. So we've got 10 lifters in Group A, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 lifters in Group A. Great way to finish off our Group B lifters. With a good lift there by Hamish McLean to put himself together with a total. You're watching the deadlifts here at the Brisbane Open. The Brisbane Open at the Brisbane Fitness Show. I've been mucking that up all day. Okay, first lifter. Bar is loaded for Path Evera. Bar loaded.
Down.
That is a good lift by Paf. Easy opening attempt. Okay, next weight on the bar is 137. This is Jess McManus. Okay, powerlifting, 3-lift sport. We're in the deadlift section of today's competition. In the deadlift, you get 3 attempts. After each attempt, you choose the weight you want in the next round, but you can't choose a weight less than you've already done. So the lifters will take conservative weights to gauge what their strength is feeling like on the day. And then based on their performance, choose the subsequent weights. So bar is loaded. So you'll notice these lifters take pretty conservative opening attempts. First round is often quite safe in terms of the load. And from there, they decide what weights they want to take on in the next round. So easy opening attempt by Jess McManus. That's 137. So Jess will go and deliberate with her coach and decide what weight she wants to take in the next round. Something between 5 and 15 kilo increase is pretty common at these types of loads. Okay, now we've got Joaquin Evans. Joaquin is opening with 160 kilos. He's in the 69 kilo class.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Joaquin. He's to be followed by Hani, Laurie, Joel. And the battle for the 77 class is looking very tight also. Interested to see how that pans out today.
Down.
Nice, strong deadlift without a belt also. 3 white lights, good lifting.
Same weight, is it?
Okay, bar weight stays at 160. Bar loaded
Yep,
for
bar's loaded.
Hani Cauchi.
Bar's loaded.
So you see the lifters come out here. Bar's loaded. You'll see the lifters come out here. A lot of them wearing a belt, some choosing not to. The belt helps provide support through the midsection, which is why a lot of lifters will choose to use a belt, although not necessary, as evidenced in the previous attempt. Okay, Hani previously broke the Australian bench record only 45 minutes ago. She's out here with 160, pulls it in, and good dynamic lift.
Down.
Very strong attempt. Well, let's see what the referees think. Good lift, 3 white lights. All right, the next weight on the bar is 190 kilos. This is for Laurie Abbott. Another record breaker. Laurie broke the Australian squat record earlier in the 55 to 59 years of age category. Squatted 185 kilos for a 55-year-old. That's a monster squat. He's coming out here. He needs actually a deadlift if he wants to lock in that record, because in order to get a record, you need a total. Bar is loaded, and in order to get a total, you need a good lift in every discipline. So, in a way, this lift is to secure the squat record that he took out earlier today.
Down.
And that's a strong lift. No issues there. 190 kilo deadlift, and he takes that squat record from earlier today too, so that's great.
Bars.
Okay, next lifter is Joel Wheeland.
The bar's loaded.
Bar loaded, same weight. Bar loaded for Joel Wheeland with 190 kilos. Joel is currently on a 330 kilo subtotal, so this lift will give him 520. This lift will give him a total of 520. Bo Rutherford will go to 529. And Taka Miyamoto will go to 533, or 543. Okay, you'll notice that Joel's grip is with both hands over the bar. Quite a wide grip also, actually.
Down.
Okay, looks good. And the referee's going to say that it's a good lift, 3 white lights. He limps off the platform there, might have kind of tugged on something a little funny, but it's a good lift with 190 kilos. So it's interesting to always note the variation in technique you see some lifters take. Some lifters will take a conventional stance, some take a wider sumo-style stance. There's no restrictions on the technique you use. Lifters will choose the technique that they feel strongest with.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded now for Bo. Bo's had a great day of lifting, hasn't missed a lift yet. This is now 200 kilos for his opening deadlift. Actually, what he squatted earlier in the day. A very good technique. 3 white lights, good lifting by Bo. Okay, so Bo's total's on 529. Joel Wheeland's is on 520. Now we've got Taka Miyamoto, the bench monster. He's taken on 210 as his opening deadlift. This is only Taka's first contest.
Bar's
He's
loaded.
doing really well. Bar loaded now for Taka Miyamoto. $210 is on the bar. And this is the last deadlift for the first attempts.
Down.
Okay, interesting little lockout. Let's see what the referees think of that one. It's going to be a no lift. So it's 2 red lights. And a similar issue that we saw from Hamish earlier, in that the shoulders didn't come right through and he kind of didn't lock his knees out enough. It was kind of a little bit of everything, really. So 2 of the referees, our center and right referee, choosing to give that a no lift for failing to lock out completely.
Bar's loaded.
For now, bar loaded with 125. This is Paf Evra.
Down.
Strong deadlift. And it's white lights all round. That's a good lift. 10 kilos above her previous attempt for Paf Evra. Okay, now we've got Jess McManus. This is 146, so a 9 kilo increase from her previous attempt. Jess's previous best is 143, so a nice little PB here on the second attempt by 3 kilos.
Bars loaded.
Bar loaded now for Jess McManus, 146. She had a strong day of lifting today. 2 squats, 2 benches, and now she's on to her second deadlift of 146.
Down.
Good lifting, white lights. So that's a good lift for Jess. She's on a 364 total now. Okay, we got now Joaquin.
Little red.
He's going for a 170 kilo deadlift. This is for a 395 total. So he's pushing up towards a 400 kilo total. Very good lifting for the first timer. 170. He'll be followed by Hani, Joel, and Laurie. Bar loaded for Joaquin. You got the time? Oh, Jesus.
Down.
Good fight there for the bar as it came through to lock out, and it's a good lift. So Joaquin's having a great day. 170 kilos on the deadlift. Same weight. Bar oh, no, it's not. It's the same weight, guys. Bar is loaded now for Hani. This is a 170 kilo deadlift for Hani. So another interesting technique here. She kind of stands off the bar and pulls it in really quickly.
Down.
That's a strong lift, and it's 3 white lights. Good lifting for Hani. Okay, next bar load is 200 kilos. This is Joel Wieland. He's on a 520 kilo total. He's looking to add 10 kilos to his total. Okay, this is shaping up to be quite a good battle. Taka Miyamoto, who was looking in a commanding position to win the 77 kilo class.
Push it up a bit. Yep.
After missing his opener, he's kind of left the door open now for these 2 boys, Joel Wieland and Bo Rutherford, to come. Joel is going to take a 530 kilo total. Bar is loaded, and this will put him into the lead temporarily, albeit, but this will put him into the lead. So he's going to take the lead by 1 kilo over Bo Rutherford. This is for a 530 kilo total. Bo's total is, Bo's total is 529.
Down.
Good fight there. Pull the shoulders well back. And it's white lights, so good lift. 200 kilo deadlift. So good lifting by Joel. He takes the lead temporarily. He squatted 200 and missed 208, and now he's deadlifted 200. So fairly uncommon to see a lighter weight lifter squatting and deadlifting in the similar loads. But it obviously depends on a lifter's strengths, weaknesses,
Bar
shape.
loaded.
Laurie Abbott, bar loaded to 205. The bar is loaded for you, mate. This is the Australian record, I'm being told. So he's going to add to his squat record by taking out a deadlift record. This is 205 kilos.
Down.
Great fight. And looks good. He's happy with that one, I think. He should be, because it's a good lift. Okay, back into the 77 classes. This is Taka Miyamoto. So Taka had a little bit of trouble on his opening deadlift in that he didn't quite lock it out. He had his knees soft, his shoulders weren't back. After some thought, I'm sure he's going to come out here and make a couple of changes. Bar is loaded. So remember, we want knees straight, shoulders back, standing straight and tall, not leaning back or forward for that matter. The screen is out, so I'm going to have to figure out what's the next lift. Alana.
Down.
Okay, that looks a lot better than the first attempt. Let's see what the referees think of it. And it's a good lift. So white lights, not a problem there. Okay, so that takes him to a 5:43 total. The next lifter is going to be Paf Evera. No, it's not. It's going to be Bo Rutherford. That's right. So the next lifter is Bo Rutherford. This is for 215 kilos. So currently Taka Miyamoto is in first with 5:43, followed by Joel at 5:30. This 15-kilo jump, though, is going to take the lead over Taka Miyamoto by 1 kilo. So a very close battle. This is for a 5:44 total, and Taka is on 5:43. Bar is loaded. So the lifter that we just saw, Miyamoto, is on 5:43. This is for a 5:44 kilogram total. The total being the sum of your squat, bench, deadlift. So very strategic attempt selection by Coach Kelly. And he makes light work of that. He looks like in a commanding position now. With that great deadlift, 215 at only 77 is a great deadlift. 3 white lights. Okay, so we've got an interesting battle in this 77-kilo class, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds. But for now, we have in the 72-kilo class, in second place and too far behind to make a dent at first, is Tonya Paf Evera. She's been having a great day. She's made 7 of her 8 lifts. Missing only her last bench. This is a finish off the day on a great note. This is a 135-kilo deadlift. For those that have just joined us, you're watching the Brisbane Open here at the Brisbane Fitness Show. 3-lift contest hosted by Powerlifting Australia. Bar is loaded now for Tonya Paf Evera. Give her your support. This is the 3rd attempt deadlift, last lift of her day. Really good fight.
Down.
Fought through that one. And the referees like it. It's a good lift, so white lights. Okay, the next lift is going to be 152 kilos. This is for Jess McManus. This is to add 6 kilos to her previous attempt. She's already got a 3-kilo deadlift PB, so this is for what will be 9 kilos above her previous best before today. Jess, a very strong lifter. Also going for a 370-kilo total. She's already won this weight class for today.
Bar's loaded.
And now the bar is loaded. Give her your support as she comes out for a 152-kilo deadlift.
Down.
And she looks to be happy with that, with good reason. 3 white lights, says the referees. It's a good lift. She finishes today on the 370-kilo total. Okay, we're now loading the bar to 3 red plates. This is for Hani Rose. Previously broke the Australian bench record only an hour ago. She now comes out here to go 3 out of 3 in the deadlifts with a 175-kilo lift.
Just push that up. Yep.
Huge deadlift,
Bar's
actually.
loaded.
Bar is loaded now for Hani. Bar is loaded, yes? All right, let's go. Let's come on.
Down.
Excellent fight on that lift. But unfortunately, it's a no lift. Two of the referees agreeing that there wasn't completely locked out. So, as I've explained, shoulders have to be back, knees have to be locked. On that one, the knees maybe just a little too soft. Shoulders not all the way through. So, she finishes the day on a good note with 170 and walks away with an Australian record bench press. So, good day for Hani. Okay, 180 kilos now for Joaquin.
Bar's loaded.
Bar loaded now for Joaquin, 180 kilos. 10 kilos more than his last attempt at 170. It's just a little too heavy, he says. And he finishes the day with 170. Give him a round of applause as he comes off here. It's only his first contest, so he'll be back for more, I'm sure. Now, Joel Wheeland. He's on 530. If he wants to make a jump for bronze, he's going to need 13 kgs more. He's going to need 213, but he's choosing 210. So he's saying that going for silver is too much. He's going to settle for the bronze medal.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded, and instead he's going to live for himself. So he's going for what will be a PB, 210 kilos. Give him your support as he comes out here. Come on, Joel. And it's just a little too heavy, he says, and he shakes the referee's hand, says thanks, and he finishes the day with a 530 total, very respectable total in the 77 class, no doubt. Okay, next lifter is Laurie Abbott. Again for the Australian record, this is 211 kilos. You're at the Brisbane Fitness Show and you're watching the Brisbane Open, hosted by Powerlifting Australia and Iron Underground. Bar is loaded for a new Australian record in the deadlift for the 55 to 59 age category. Laurie Abbott. Too heavy, he says. But not a worry because he finishes the day with an Australian record in the deadlift and in the squat. And a 503 kilo total to boot. Okay, the battle of the 77s continues. Bo Rutherford is currently in first with 544 in the total. Taka Miyamoto is on 543, so Taka is a kilo behind. Bo Rutherford's going to deadlift first, and he's just going to simply look to stretch his lead.
Bar's loaded.
Bar is loaded for Bo. This is 228 kilos. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes out here. He's looking to extend his lead by another 13 kilos to take him up to 557 and finish what will be a 9 out of 9 perfect day of lifting. Yes. And it's going to be a no lift. So Bo finishes on 544. And only 1 kilo behind is Taka Miyamoto on 543. So in theory, Taka could go up as little as 229 to take the lead. But it doesn't look like any change is going to happen. So he's going to go for 238. So it's all or nothing for Taka. He's going for not only the win, but for what will be a personal best. Bar is loaded for Taka Miyamoto, currently in silver, to take the gold off Bo Rutherford. Give him a round of applause as he comes out here. Taka Miyamoto. Ladies and gents, last deadlift of this morning's session. Let's go. Come on.
Down.
And he stands up. He's locked it out. The referees are going to say that it's a good lift. So he takes the gold in the 77 kilo division. Ladies and gents, I want to thank you for your attention. This was Powerlifting Australia's Brisbane Open. At 1:30, the second session starts. We've got another session of great lifting featuring our heavyweight men and women. That starts at 1:30.